Hey, family. Good afternoon. Why do I want to say good morning whenever I come on here? I feel like if I did not live on the West Coast, I might make this a morning thing, but like by the time I wake up, you guys are already in the afternoon on the East Coast. It's so good to see everyone. Not me starting at 2:22. Aw. Oh wait, Jazz noticed it too. That's so funny. Let me see. Thank you guys for waiting. Loving this retrograde. Really, I want to say as we're getting started, I was really taken aback by the response to the Mercury retrograde reading. All I remember from that reading is I was having a lot of fun, and then at one part I felt very dizzy from all the energy coming at me, but it was fun, and then I like left before I passed out. And then I laid down, and then suddenly I start getting all these messages like Bridget hit me up, Scotty Beam hit me up, Estelle hit me up this morning. All my friends are like, bitch, what? Like, that's really my message. And so I'm excited that they resonated because honestly, guys, if I was to do readings on here and it didn't resonate, I would not want to do it again. The entire point of this working for me is it being mutually beneficial. So I just want to thank everybody. Someone says the Aries were yelling. Yes, the Aries. I mean, what do you expect from Aries? The Aries were yelling. Monique, who's an Aries, actually hit me up and was like, "Hey, the Aries one wasn't that bad, but the Pisces one really got me." So for anybody who did not see the live stream, please check it out because it's for Mercury retrograde energy. And even though, and I keep saying this, the stars and the moon and everything else in the sky don't have a hard stop and start, right? Things fade in and fade out. So everybody who's saying, "Oh, Mercury retrograde's over today, it's the 11th." No, Mercury becomes direct and then starts to fade back out today, which means until the weekend, please, please, please still be very chill and listen to the messages that I posted in that video. And if you haven't seen the video yet, watch the video so you can have a heads up about the week. Again, rising signs are just as important, if not more important, than sun signs. So please check out your sun signs and your rising signs because a lot of folks were like, "Oh, my rising sign wasn't that bad." And they were like, "My sun sign wasn't that bad." And the minute they looked up their rising sign, they were like, "Oh, bitch, you got me." So both matter. Let me see who's coming in here real quick. John's coming on in half an hour because I actually want to go over a topic before we get to the conversation that I'm going to have with him. I was actually going to, someone said you modeled boundaries and community care at the same time on that live. Oh, thank you, love. I do think moving forward, I will be intentional about a time limit on every single sign. I think I'm going to do maybe 10 minutes for every sign so that we're done within 2.5 hours. I think there were some signs that were so heavy and raucous in the room that they got a little bit more time than other signs. And so the young lady who was a little stank towards me and said, "Well, next time I guess Sag is going to get, more time because you barely did anything for Sag." Babe, I did the energy in the room. And it was 10 minutes of a free reading. You got 10 minutes of a reading for free based on who was in the room. You guys, I do not want this to be a space of entitlement. If I offer you a free gift, do not complain about a free gift in the comments. Right? Do not complain about a free gift in the comments. Also, thank you to everybody who did those tips. That was really, really sweet, really, really helpful. I also learned that YouTube takes 40%. So if you gave me $10, I got 6, right? But like, I appreciate the space, but let's all be very clear that what I am charging, 0, is significantly less than what I usually charge. And so if it's a gift, please keep it cute. Somebody had said to me, "Blue, have your Cash App instead of tips." I might start doing Cash App, but I feel like there's something fun about seeing the money pop on stage and people getting excited and the colors popping up and feeling engaged. So I'm still going to do both. I'm still going to do both YouTube and Cash App. But thank you for those of you who want to give me a little something extra. And I will also say this. The topic we're doing today is going to be about the Ari Lennox backlash. And before that, I want to talk about this therapist lady because last week when Jessie posted a video about some lady who fell in love with her therapist, it was too many sections. It was giving whitewashed Risa Tisa, but in a less compelling, more bland way. And I was like, I don't have the energy for this. However, I've recently found out that this lady has gotten fired. And suddenly it got a lot more interesting because I was like, wait, how is it bad enough that she got fired? And I fell down a rabbit hole. But I know how my ADHD is. Somebody said this, "You've seen every video?" Great. Oh, put the Cash App in the description box. That's actually a good idea. Guys, I'm so bad at anything marketing because I'm always the girl who's just worried about content. I'm going to put it in here. Cash App is blue Telusma 2. If you don't put the 2, then you're sending it into the ether. It's up now, guys. I don't know. How do I pin this? All right. It doesn't let me pin it. Maybe I'll pin it in the other thing. Anyways, I was going to ignore this until I saw that she got fired and her response to being fired. And suddenly I had an aha moment where, you guys, this is why this is suddenly interesting. You guys all came in droves and sat here with me for 6 hours listening to a story time about how I believe I was the victim of psychological warfare. The thing that shocked me and dismayed me about watching this video about this woman who is clearly has some kind of mental disorder, some kind of mental imbalance that is pushing her forward, is that if someone was not emotionally intelligent, they would have a hard time discerning between what I did and what she did. And that's when I realized it was important. I am someone who knows what it's like to want to tell the truth and shame the devil. I've only done it once in my entire career. That live I did 2 weeks ago is the first time I've ever done an expose video like that. So that was the first time for me. And it was because I was threatened publicly. So I felt like, okay, I've been publicly threatened. I have to publicly respond. This lady, though, had a delusion about something privately, was not threatened, but called this man out with just as much, if not more fervor that I did. And it concerned me because she used some of the similar language that I did and she misapplied it. And one of the things, yes, she got fired. We're going to go over that today. One of the things that concerns me is, and this is what probably one of my biggest insecurities about being in the public zeitgeist, is that there are so many people who weaponize therapy speak, so many people who weaponize healing speak, so many people who are toxically positive, that I often fear that I, someone who's doing this very intentionally, very responsibly, and with a strong lens of emotional intelligence, I'm always concerned that I will be mistaken for the Delulus. Right? I have some strong caution around always making sure that when I make a statement, even though somebody who knows my heart understands the statement, I tend to be intentional about nuance so that those of you who are new to me don't mistake me for the other bullshit, right? It's almost like when people used to always compare me to Amanda Seales until I had to be like, no, I am nothing like Amanda Seales. We're both intelligent women who speak with confidence, but here's my EQ versus what I see her doing, right? Sometimes you can look the same as somebody else from a distance. And it's not until people get really close to you that they see, oh my God, you look nothing like them. Like imagine when you think you see your friend in a crowd and you walk up to them and you tap them on the shoulder and the person turns around and it's not your friend. That's what this feels like. This woman and her supporters sound like me and y'all, but it's a whole different application. And so I feel like somebody said the comparison is wild. It's true. Well, this is self-awareness, guys. Part of being self-aware is not only knowing who you aren't, it's recognizing who you could be mistaken to be, right? That's a whole different level of self-awareness where I know who I am, but I also know what an untrained eye could mistake me to be. And studying those disparities is really, really important because a lot of the world's best manipulators are cosplaying as sincere people. So as a sincere person, I know that I am the favorite costume of a manipulator. Manipulators want to come off the way I naturally am, right? And that's why manipulators tend to be very nasty and attack sincere people because they know that when you walk into the room, you actually are the thing that they are pretending to be, right? So I'm going to always do my best when I see someone who's a mirage of sincerity, who's a mirage of emotional intelligence, that I, as someone who actually lives in that ecosystem, I call bullshit. Because I want to train you guys to be able to call bullshit yourself. Someone said, you never gave Amanda, the only thing you got in common is you're all pro-Black. No, you'd be surprised. At the ABFF party where I met Jesse and Mr. Easter last summer, someone walked up to me and whispered in my ear at 1 a.m. as I was leaving the function, oh my God, you're like a healthier Amanda Seales. And I said, there's another way to give me a compliment. You don't have to mention another woman's name or put another woman down to compliment me. Don't ever do that again. So yeah, thank God she blocked me because it stopped the comparisons. All right, y'all ready to watch this video? Because this is crazy. And I tend to try to not use the word crazy too much because, you know, we're talking about mental health. But in this case, I don't feel bad about using it. All right, for anybody who does not know anything about this woman in the story, do not worry. I spent like an hour or two today clipping it all in one cohesive chunk so that we could like get to the nitty gritty really quickly. Because the reason why I didn't want to talk about this story at first is my ADHD. I was like, I cannot watch 22 parts of whitewashed Risa Tisa. All right, so let me put this up on the screen. Let me see. You are your own. The world better know your name. They will soon. Oh, by the way, thank you for everybody who congratulated me on reaching 30,000 subscribers. Yay! I should have had sound effects to do clapping hands. 30,000 subscribers on YouTube is the equivalent of 100,000 subscribers on TikTok. Getting subscribers on TikTok and YouTube and Instagram are very, very different. YouTube is the hardest. Instagram is the mezzanine, and TikTok is the easiest. So even though I'm like 85K on TikTok, this 30K on YouTube, I earned every single one of these. So if you want to help me get to 100, guys, my new goal is, today is August 11th, 2025. My goal is as soon as possible to get to 100K. It might take a year. Shit, if something goes viral, it might take 6 weeks. Who knows? But I want to get my 100K plaque, because getting a 100K plaque from YouTube is a very big deal. Very, like, the 1% gets that plaque. That plaque is not easy to come by. So I think something about 30K made me realize, wait, if I could get to 30K, why can't I do 100? So please like and subscribe so that you can help me reach my goal. All right, let's talk about this woman who is very scary. Let me see, put the volume all the way up. Thank you, guys. Oh, I'm so happy. I'm learning to celebrate small wins. Please, guys, if you have any praise reports, put them in the chat so that when I read back the comments later, I can see them, because as the last day of Mercury retrograde before we enter the shadow period, I want us to cleanse that retrograde spirit by actually thinking about our wins, right? And small wins are wins. 30K is not a lot to most people, but I earned it, and a win is a win. Okay. All right. Let's talk about this lady real quick.
Yoga class this morning, like I do every Tuesday mornings. And I told my regular students about what's going on for me and how I'm sharing my story of provider abuse and how the internet is not happy with me right now.
I just want to make it crystal clear that Kendra's recent actions in class do not reflect the values of our studio.
And then she said, this is an urgent business matter and needs to be addressed immediately, because what is happening online is now negative affecting the business. And I said, I understand that this feels urgent, but I won't be able to meet today. If you feel it's best for the studio to part ways with me, I understand.
So this is the part, that face is the face I made. This is the part where I was like, wait, I haven't kept up with the story. You guys, I'm starting in the middle on purpose. We're going to start at the beginning in a second. But I was like, wait, on my timeline today, I saw Kendra, the white lady, her name is Kendra, I know, just got fired. And when they called her to work things through, she had an attitude with them. And that's what made me want to go backwards, because I was like, how did we go from you falling in love with your therapist to you getting fired from a yoga studio? Those two things were not connecting, right? So this is the video about how we got from point A to point B, and the reactions that she's gotten from the general public, from her friends and family, and also from other therapists, because the therapy community is in shambles over this. Absolute shambles. And if there's any therapists or mental health providers in here, feel free to speak up about what you've been seeing in your own group chats.
I fell in love with my psychiatrist, and he knew that, and he kept me for years as a patient until I was brave enough to leave him. I want to talk about it. Usually when I go on this app and I have a question, I have a bunch of videos that pop up, and I searched in love with my psychiatrist and nothing happened. So I would really like to discuss what happens when we fall in love with our mental health professionals, and most importantly, the fact that there are so many people, especially men, that are emotionally dead inside, that feel called to going into psychiatry and therapy so they don't have to feel their feelings, but they can feed off of the vulnerability of their mostly female patients.
Now, this lady is unhinged, and that point is correct. This is where things get tricky, guys, right? Because this is a nuanced debriefing. She is correct about this point. Even a broken clock is right twice a day. There are a lot of, I want to make myself bigger. There we go. There are a lot of therapists, this is actually gender neutral, who are narcissistic, who are diabolical, who are just not great people, who then go to school to be therapists to feed their God complexes and to find more clever ways to hide their bullshit. And you're probably thinking, well, Blue, if you're saying that the world is full of really evil therapists, then why are you also telling us to go to therapy? And this is what I always say. A therapist is like a boyfriend or a girlfriend. You know that they are bad people who are in the dating pool, and yet you still keep dating until you find somebody you're compatible with, right? To say that I won't go to therapy because bad therapists exist is to say I will never date or believe in love, is because bad people in love exist. right? A therapist is still a person. Anything that involves people is inherently flawed because people are inherently flawed. That has nothing to do with the fact that when you find a therapist who has integrity and is compatible with you, that makes it worth the risk. In the same way of when you find a partner or when you find a career or when you find friends that are worth of the risk and you're compatible and they're safe and they have integrity, it's worth all the folks who betrayed you beforehand. So I just think it's really faulty that we act like just because all therapists aren't perfect, therapy itself is something that we shouldn't champion, right? Somebody just wrote down, you got to find the right one for you. Exactly, guys. If you're willing to date, even though you've had at least one bad date, you should be willing to still seek counseling and support from a mental health provider, even if you found a provider who was incompatible or, in worst case scenario, diabolical, right? So let's not use the because some therapists suck, we should never get therapy excuse. And she is right, because I have a friend who spent all of last year coming to me because she was being abused by a therapist. So both things can exist, right?
What do you guys think? I told him often that I had a crush on him, told him all the time that I thought he was attractive, and he just would smile and not say anything because he was the king of plausible deniability. He didn't ever ask me if I had a crush on him, but he didn't do anything when I told him. Oh, he wasn't just fine with me having a crush on him and being in love with him. He loved it. And
wait, how does she know this? Let me get this straight. She told her therapist. First of all, I thought she said psychiatrist. Thank you. Somebody else peeped that too. She originally said psychiatrist. And the way I always remember is the psychiatrist is just a tryst, right? A psychiatrist's job is just to give you medication. That's not a therapist, right? A psychologist is, I think, what she would have meant. But when she first came online, she said psychiatrist, which means this man is just having an intake conversation with you to figure out what kind of prescription to give you. And if you meet with him afterwards, he's just doing his job to make sure the meds are working. Am I wrong? If I'm wrong, if there are any mental health professionals in here who can tell me, am I wrong? Because a psychiatrist is a tryst, guys. That's how I always remember the difference, right? Psychiatrist is a tryst, T-R-Y-S-T. A tryst is a quick encounter. So why would you be calling your psychiatrist your therapist? If you've been therapized for this long, how do you not know the difference? Okay, you guys are saying I'm correct. Okay, I know I'm not crazy. Like, what? Ma'am, you're already not making sense. Also, her telling her psychiatrist that she's a crush on him is like you going to CVS and telling the pharmacist that you have a crush on them while there's a line going out the door. They're going to smile politely and give you your meds. And according to HIPAA, he can't say anything. Yeah, I already don't like this lady. This is only 15 minutes long, but I already don't like this lady.
And he had every ethical duty to end the psychiatric relationship when he found out that I had a crush on him, but he kept me for years after. And this is what I mean. He was a 38-year-old, attractive, smart, extremely successful psychiatrist, but he did not date. Why didn't he date?
Wait, so she did say psychiatrist. So we weren't crazy. Somebody said she's a therapist too. Yes. Her therapist, I think, is a woman from what I've gleaned, but her therapist isn't who she's in love with. She's in love with her psychiatrist. Ma'am. And yes, I've heard that she uses a ChatGPT. I am so anti-ChatGPT for therapy. That's a whole different life of its own. Somebody wrote, Mitson, who works in the field, wrote, thank you, Mitson, for speaking up. Historically, psychiatrists have done therapy, and there are still a few that do, but most psychiatrists only do med management. Yes. Yeah. Something's off. Ma'am, something's a little off. By the way, I intentionally have therapists speaking for themselves towards the end of this 15-minute video, because as somebody who is not a therapist, because I went to school to be a therapist, and so I realized you can't be a psychic therapist. There's HIPAA laws against being psychic and being a therapist. And so as somebody who almost went to therapy but decided to be a coach instead, I often have fear around and caution around, not fear, it's not fear anymore. I'm intentional about the fact that I'm incredibly friendly with my clients. They'll tell you, some of them have my number because, I have to call them from my phone when we have our sessions. Some of them will text me updates or if they're having a scheduling problem, but I do not hang out with my clients. I adore my clients. I'm as close as you can be with the client without actually being their friend because of this, right? I don't think it's going to ever be appropriate for me to be kicking with the client about me having a bad day in this way. Even when it came to my story time about a week or two ago, a couple people from my class said, hey, we have a group chat. and we all saw your thing and we're all sending you support. No part of me wanted to enter the group chat. I think it's inappropriate for me to be in a group chat of my clients while they're discussing things that might involve me and trying to have a conversation without worrying about me looking it through the lens of a provider. So as someone who's only a coach, I'm not saying only as far as lacking value, but I'm just saying as far as having less systemic barriers that are legally permitting me from having too much of a relationship, even though I don't have a legal standard keeping me in line, I'm still keeping myself in line. So if there's any coaches watching, please don't try to be homies with your goddamn clients. Be friendly. Mind you, most of my clients are people who I would love to be friends with. And yet I still make sure that I keep a little bit of distance. And it's not cold either. They'll tell you I keep with them within reason.
Because he got his emotional needs met feeding off of his patients and getting fantasy supply from them and being seen by them. I'm really good at seeing people. He loved the way I saw him. It is a crazy story and I can't wait to share it. Sorry, but what did you want him to do? Get rid of you as a patient? Yes, that's what they're taught in psychiatric training, is that the moment that there is romantic feelings, it is on them to transfer that patient out.
Now hold up. If my job is to give you meds and you told me you like my pants and I smell good, why would I stop giving you your meds? You just showing me how much you need them. Am I crazy? Oh, and she's a coach. Oh, see, this is why I get so nervous. This is why, for anybody who's like, Blue, you've been doing this work for so long. There's some people who've been following me since like the early 2000s when I had a Yahoo group. I've been doing this for a long time. And they're like, Blue, why did it take you so long to be more visible online? It's because of people like this. The fact that she's an ADHD coach acting like this scares the shit out of me. We're literally watching my biggest nightmare come to life right now. She's my biggest nightmare.
Without a doubt. He was the one with the medical degree. He was the one that knew better, but he loved the attention that I gave him too much to do the right thing. So yes, that's what I wanted him to do. The ethical thing. Was I going through something psychologically? Let me be perfectly clear here. Even if I was going through something psychologically, it was on my psychiatrist to do something about it because he was the one with the ethical training and the psychiatric knowledge. So to answer your question, no, I was not going through something. I was simply wanting to go back on ADHD meds. And I told him in my intake about some of the family stress that I had went through, relational stress. And he also diagnosed me with not only ADHD, but other trauma, stressor-related disorders. He did not tell me about that diagnosis until I asked him a year and a half later. But what he did with that diagnosis was he used it to recreate attachment bonds and make me addicted to him. When I was ovulating.
Wait. This bitch just said when I was ovulating. Okay, I need to stop. The fact that she does not know the difference between an assumption or a hypothesis, which is an intelligent assumption, versus the fact, is wild to me. And she's a coach. Thank you guys for the congratulations. Somebody said BetterHelp is a scam. They charged me for appointments I never had. You guys, when people were talking about getting a brand deal, a lot of people said, Blue, you should work with BetterHelp. And I looked into it and I was like, nah. I know for a fact that I could get a brand deal with BetterHelp right now because everything that I do is a BetterHelp commercials wet dream. I have read too many stories about them that make me nervous to ever do that to my audience because I would feel like crap and my fucking spirit guys would probably wake me up in the middle of the night. But yeah, I have a question. If she is an ADHD coach, and ADHD is about perception, which means if you are somebody who is masterful enough to be a coach, that means you have to have a masterful grip on perception. I hope all her clients quit her. You guys, if I had posted something like this 2 weeks ago about Icky, I would have hoped that all my clients would have canceled their bookings. This is actually alarming that someone whose job it is to perceive objectively to help others can't even perceive herself in the most basic way. Oh my God.
I had a dream about you. And he was like, oh yeah? And I said, yeah. So I told him this. And I said, yes, we hooked up right here in this office.
Be effing for real. Like, seriously. If I were him, I swear I would just leave planet Earth.
Thank you, Mitson, for that. The be effing for real, I put that in because I think I was getting upset, and I was like, I know I'm not the only person having the same reaction. Well, apparently there was a yoga incident. So that's the broad strokes. Is she's convinced that this man is in love with her, and that whenever she's ovulating, he can smell it on her, and he just likes the attention. Mind you, this is all an assumption. This man has never said anything, but here's your medication. Wait, she charged $3K? Okay, I need a timeout. I need a timeout. She charges $3,000. Do you guys understand how little I charge for 8 weeks of coaching? I intentionally charged the absolute lowest that I can charge while still being able to pay my bills, because I am so nervous about my community, which is disenfranchised, not being able to get the help and the support that they need. And I teach people how to have tools to change their entire lives. She's an ADHD coach charging $3K. Is that a lifetime? What is that? Are y'all sure it's $3K? $3K. Don't worry, I'm not going to raise my prices. This just goes to show how people who have no sense of responsibility to their audience, $3K for 3 months is wild for someone with her level of perception. Mind you, I could easily charge way more for what I do, right? And I could make an argument where I could have an offering worth $3,000. I do not believe, can do that. I don't believe there's any amount of perception that she's giving to her coaching clients that's worth $3,000 for 3 months. And who is paying this? Okay. Anyways, in addition to being a questionable ADHD coach, and mind you, if there was anybody who's going to defend her, it'd be me, because I'm a coach as well, right? When you're a coach for a niche market, you have to do things in an unconventional way. But this bitch, no. She also, and I'm calling her a bitch because her trying to get this man fired is disgusting to me. She also does yoga. This is starting to feel like one of those stereotypes. Somebody said, is that American dollars? It better be Naira, because there's no way people are paying $3,000 USD to have this woman be their coach. If somebody can find a clip from one of her clients, let me know, because I need to know who the hell is paying this lady $3,000. I don't believe it. I do not believe it.
I taught a yoga class this morning, like I do every Tuesday mornings, and I told my regular students about what's going on for me and how I'm sharing my story of...
Wait, why are you... Wait. I don't mean to cackle. I cackle like a benevolent king. Wait a minute. Imagine you go to yoga because it's the retrograde and you fighting for your life. And suddenly white Kendra comes to you and says, hey, yo, my therapist is in love with me. What does that have to do with yoga? What part of downward dog requires your teacher to tell you, okay, I am confusion. You guys, I am confusion. I usually can find a way to understand someone's path of thinking, even when I disagree with it. This lady, even as somebody with ADHD myself, I am not following her stream of consciousness. Her logic is flawed as hell.
Provider abuse and how the internet is not happy with me right now. And I used that to say that our truth is really important to share. And that when we know something deep down needs to be said, that it's important to do it in whichever way feels best to us. And TikTok just happened to be that medium for me.
Shout out to all my white readers and listeners. You know I don't mean you. But what in the white audacity is this? I think even if Azalea Banks, who we know is has a loose grip on reality, was to crash out, I still think even she would second guess walking into a yoga studio, talking about her TikTok feed. And now she's saying it's a teachable moment for her class about what? A lack of emotional regulation? Yo, any kind of guilt I might have felt about airing out Icky for threatening me has gone away watching what the other side is doing.
I told my students how I've just been going through psychological warfare, and the internet is not happy with me for sharing my story and my truth. But I'm not doing it for the people that think I'm crazy, which maybe honestly I am a little bit, because who subjects themselves to this kind of torture? But
wait, you're not crazy because you made up a delusional story and are clearly psychologically unwell and imbalanced. You're crazy because you're the victim. You see how it sounded like she was about to take accountability and went, Arr! need to stop pausing this, but this lady's audacity. I actually, when I pieced this together, I made it a point not to listen to the videos. I just grabbed clips that were going to hit the basic points. Now that I'm watching it now, my blood pressure, I need to drink some water. This lady's actually stressing me out.
But I'm doing it for the people that DM me, that say, thank you so much for being brave enough to share your story, because the exact same thing happened to me. So I am grateful for those DMs. People are starting to attack my business and my livelihood, and that's okay. I know what I have to offer is important. It landed in my lap. I'm not pretending to be something that I'm not. I help ADHDers get and stay sober, and I help them with negative thinking and anxiety. And
Wait. She helps people with negative thinking and anxiety. For those who are asking, is the provider BIPOC? Yes, he's Muslim. A white woman trying to get a Muslim man doxxed and fired for a story she made up in her head is very triggering for a lot of reasons.
It's what works for me, and I've seen it work in my clients too. So if people want to drag me for the work that I do, that's okay.
I just want to address everybody who has reached out in regards to Kendra.
Oh, this is the owner of the yoga studio who just found out that morning from watching Kendra's video that Kendra was going around telling their clients that her therapist is in love with her. Imagine you are at home, burning incense, doing your morning mantras, making some mint tea, preparing to go to the studio, and you wake up to this clusterfuck. My heart goes out to this lady, because I would be in shambles.
As you may know, I am the co-owner of Yoga Loft Tucson. My business partner Jackie and I opened Yoga Loft Tucson to create a safe and trauma-aware space where students can practice and they know that they will always be seen and supported by their teachers. And we just want to make it crystal clear that Kendra's recent actions in class do not reflect the values of our studio. And nor are we affiliated with any of her videos. Out of respect for my energy and my community, I'd really appreciate if people stop tagging me and messaging me personally.
Oh, they found her boss and they keep tagging her. Oh mon Dieu. Mercury retrograde has been hard on all of us. Some of us harder than others. I would offer her a free reading. This is the kind of person I would offer, because ma'am, you had a week, huh? You had a week.
My business partner and I are handling this internally. And thank you to everybody who's reached out with kind and concern. We appreciate you, and this situation sucks.
Kendra responds, so Kendra then responds to the lady saying, we have to fire her because this is too much. At what point do you shut up? No, seriously. At what point do you say, you know what? Yes, not all studios are trauma-informed, but imagine you having a trauma-informed studio. So the entire point is, hey, we understand trauma exists, but not here. And then Kendra walks in. Downward dogging and trauma dumping in front of 30 students on a Tuesday morning. And she still didn't shut up. Rather than shut up, Kendra wanted to clap back again, now at the owner. I hope she's not saying the owner's in love with her too.
They texted me this morning and said, good morning, Kendra. Apologies for texting you so early, but what is your availability to get today? My social media and the business page are being completely inundated with messages about your TikTok, specifically your post about class yesterday. Kendra, you are so strong. Keep sharing your truth. Thank you. I said, I'm really sorry people found out where I worked. People have been systematically attacking me and trying to silence me any way they can. I had no idea people would target the studio. I mentioned teaching because I feel supported by the yoga studio named community, mostly you two, the two owners, and my students. I looked into patterns of harassment for abuse survivors who speak up. They attack every aspect of your life, including employment.
Wait. So now she's misapplying what happens to actual victims to what's happening to her. You guys, this is dangerous. And thank you for, I'm not the only one. The word systemically, does she not know what that word means? 12 white women, 3 black people, and about half a dozen Asians calling, that's usually the demographic of a yoga class that I take, calling up a yoga studio to say that you made them uncomfortable during your 45-minute morning yagasa, whatever session, is not systemic. Her use of the word systemic while trying to weaponize her tears against a Muslim man a Pakistani man at that, in this climate is wild to me. This went from funny to actually dangerous. Wow. This is actually dangerous.
I'm really sorry that my attacks are happening with your business. I know that harsh messages are rough. This harassment campaign will eventually die down once they realize they can't silence me. If you would like to remove my name from the website for now, I'd understand. Dude, yes, it's systemic. And then
also her audience was like, what do you mean systemic? No, it's not. Kendra, how is systemic? How is 13, 30 at most middle-aged women at a yoga studio systemically oppressing you? That's not how that works. Okay, not she's right, he's fine. Lay, you're not helping, friend.
And at 11 a.m., they said, okay, is there a time where we could, all three of us can chat on FaceTime? 1 p.m. would work for me. I mean,
so they hit her up and say, hey, can we talk today? Which is better than what I would have said is, bitch, come get your stuff. So they're trying to keep it cute with her.
Need more time with errands, 1:30? That works. Earlier is better for me. And I was like, I can't FaceTime. Like, I'm not going to be available at the drop of the hat.
Wait, why can't you FaceTime? Well, you have time to do a 22-part series on TikTok and go live. Because you see, this is her going live, but you can't talk to your employer about tanking their business?
And then Ashley said, Kendra, are you seeing our texts? I said, yes, I'm not available for a FaceTime today. It's been a busy afternoon. I'll text more in a couple hours. And then she wrote back, this is an urgent matter. We need to meet ASAP. I said, I understand that this feels urgent, but I'm not available.
Oh! You set my business on fire and you're like, it's not that urgent. Wow. She's a shitty human. No, she's a questionable. Her personhood is questionable.
I'll be in touch when I'm ready. And then she said, this is an urgent business matter and needs to be addressed immediately because what is happening online is now negatively affecting the business. And I said, I understand that this feels urgent, but I won't be able to meet today. If you feel it's best for the studio to part ways with me, I understand. I won't be removing the original video. I stand by what I said and the message. I refuse to let these harassers intimidate or silence me. In my next video, I will make an announcement that I am no longer tied to my former yoga studio. And then they just said it's in the best interest of the studio to part ways because we were not able to meet with you face to face. We will be emailing you an official termination letter. And then the other owner said, please know that this is not about your videos or us invalidating your experience. This is concerning your post about your class experience and the negative repercussions from that.
Brilliant. Did you hear that last part? The employer said, please be clear, you mentally unstable wench. This is not about silencing you and harassing you and making you feel like you can't tell your truth. You did something at our place of business that compromised our ability to do business. And we are only taking issue with how it affects our business directly. We ain't got nothing to do with you and your little story. That was brilliant. Because had they not done that, she actually would have had grounds to potentially drag them with her. That was, shout out to whoever put in that last sentence.
And I just said, okay, will you email or will you send my final check, please? And that was that.
Kendra, the woman who fell in love with her psychiatrist, what do I think about this as a therapist? I'm a clinical social worker who works at a private practice.
Now, for the person who said she's not fired, they parted ways. She was fired, child. They tried to get her to come in to get fired. She wouldn't even show up to get fired. And said, well, if you want me to come in to fire me, we could end this right now. That's pretty. Now, this is where things get interesting because this video, I did see it also annoyed me. I thought, okay, Blue, humanize the providers, right? Because who heals the healers? Who stands up for the healers? Who stands up for the coaches who provide a service and often have to deal with really ungrateful clients? I was, I think Mitzi just said she got a dip. Mitzi, you got a dip? I'll tune in late. Yes, Mitzi, we're about to talk about the therapist reaction. So, and Johne-Jonne is going to be, oh, Johne-Jonne's here. Johne-Jonne, why are you in the comments? Click the link I sent you, love, in the invite. Don't be in the comments, love. You have a backstage link. Johne-Jonne's here. So like, I understand that this is something that could scare therapists, but like, I wanted to hear them speak for themselves. I did not count for the fact that a white therapist is still a white therapist and that there's some cultural nuances here that I don't think this therapist who's about to speak is taking into account. Listen to what this therapist, mind you, I'm guessing from his diction and his page that he's a queer man. So I'm thinking, oh, he's a queer therapist. He might understand, child. Ugh.
I think we're seeing someone that appears that they're going through a mental health crisis, and there's a lot of eyes on them, and there's not a lot of empathy happening. There's a lot of armchair therapists, but then actual therapists chiming in on like what they think is happening. What I think is happening is that this is a very real thing that she believes happened to her, that was her reality, whether it was reality or not, it was her reality, and that she has millions of people now watching her talk about it in 20 some parts and going live. And I can't imagine what that would be like to be at your worst and maybe not even fully recognize you're at your worst and have millions of people watching it, going viral, and the extreme effects that this will have on her professionally and personally, because I can imagine that when she's able to do the healing and think more clear-headed, that she'll probably regret putting some of this stuff out there or be embarrassed about putting some of this stuff out there. I don't know. I don't think she's doing this to be malicious. I don't think she's doing it and she's making it up. This is a reality to her. And I can't imagine what that'd be like to be going through a crisis, potentially mania or psychosis or whatever, having it up on the internet, having it go viral. So I think my take on it is, I'm not her therapist, I'm not her psychiatrist, so I can't diagnose her. And I am intending to lead with empathy.
Empathy. Okay, so guys, if this therapist was a gay Black man, he would not be speaking like this. I'm going to walk out on the limb. Right? If this was a non-white presenting queer man who's a mental health provider, I have a hard time believing he would be speaking like this. He's so busy feeling bad for her white women tears, he's not thinking about the racial and cultural implications of her doing this against a man of color. I'm going to bring Johne-Jonne up, add him to the stage. Hey, Johne-Jonne.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. And I'm also I'm trying to figure out how to have you talk and also, hold on.
Okay.
There we go. I wanna get your thoughts so far. What do you think? Have you seen what we've been doing so far? I know you just came in about this white woman who's obsessed with her Muslim therapist and is trying to get him fired on the internet.
But how are you obsessed with somebody and you're trying to get them fired at the same time? Like that doesn't allow him to facilitate what you need financially if y'all ever got together.
They're not. He don't talk to her. She's mad at him for still breathing her air but not wanting to be with her.
So she's mad at him because he don't want her, basically.
Yep, that's exactly it. Let's hit the rest of the video. This is like the last 5 minutes, guys.
Therapist, the psychiatrist is Muslim.
He's Muslim, guys.
The psychiatrist is Muslim.
This is him, guys. I found a picture of him.
Oh, he got a big nose. You know what that means?
As a therapist, just from this whole situation about the girl falling in love with her therapist, you know what I've learned? I am powerless. I have no power. I have no control. And really, HIPAA's out there to protect clients.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Now, as a therapist, I think I have control, but I really don't. Anyone can pull out a phone and say whatever they want about me, their experience, and my services.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't say shit. I can't say shit. Okay? I have to sit there and watch. You can pick up a phone and say whatever and blow up my career in a good way, or I can watch it fall to pieces.
Mm-hmm.
It shows us that no matter what y'all say to us can be one thing, what's going on in here can be something totally different. Okay? And the little things we do to make y'all feel good, do no harm, safe spaces, conditional positive regard, giving you compliments can also be taken the wrong way. So as a therapist myself, I'm like, do I pull back from that? Do I change? Okay. But yeah, do therapists really have any type of power? We really don't. You come in, you talk to us, and at the end of the day, you walk off and we go our way. And we think we're having a shared experience and this relationship might be good. But then I found out months later, You really never liked me.
Somebody mentioned this too. They mentioned about how the white therapists lack depth and the repercussions of hurting someone's reputation doesn't matter for white people. I honestly, part of me thought that him being a queer man would make him understand, and
Hmm.
was a little bit sad by that. John, what do you think about the fact that the white male therapist, despite being part of the LGBTQ, was feeling bad for her and not the Muslim psychiatrist?
Because I think maybe he feels that she's a little mentally challenged.
So we all know she's challenged. We all agree on
Okay,
that. We all agree on that.
yes. And I think that maybe he's just like going into it a little bit too deep, but at the same time, it's like if you were her therapist, like if as a woman, Blue, like how would you feel if she came at you that way?
Well, first of all, I would make sure that I talk to legal counsel.
Okay,
I would talk to a
okay.
lawyer immediately.
So basically, go to take this to HR and let them like
Uh-huh.
have them like give you information on how to maybe possibly remove yourself from the situation, or just let bygones be bygones and get her a new therapist.
Here's my thing. He's not a therapist. He's a psychiatrist. His only job is giving her meds. I think that's the
Mm-hmm.
thing that is so confusing and weird for everybody. Is his
Mm-hmm.
job was to give you your meds. Why are you acting like somebody said not Stevie Wonder? Why are you acting like I owe you something? I will say this: she's gotten fired from her yoga job. She's now
Mm-hmm.
building a community. My heart goes out to this man because 3 to 4 years is a long time. My heart goes out
Mm-hmm.
to this man because she's effectively probably ruined his career in some way.
I'm sure. It's like
Yeah,
what else?
ruined his
What
career.
it's like what type of work he's going to be able to do after going through this publicly.
And you see how quickly I posted his picture because people were asking, but I feel bad that his
Mhm.
picture is even available.
I know he looks good though, so I understand where she's coming from, but still, that's not right.
John, welcome to the show, guys. For those who missed it, John was in the last episode of the
Hmm.
Humanized podcast on the main page. John, let's pivot
Hmm.
for let's pivot completely from this because this is so sad.
Hmm.
I'll keep you guys posted if anything else happens. I kind of want him to quit his job and try to not say something violent. Never mind. I would like him to be released from the shackles of HIPAA and do what needs to be done. I'll just say
Yeah,
that.
I don't
John, how
know.
do
I don't know. Maybe I feel like he should possibly like get on TikTok his damn self and talk about the situation, but also
you
give people like
you can't.
information on how they can get through this situation because there's multiple ways to earn money on TikTok, even if he's not practicing currently. He can tell a
According to
story and people
HIPAA, he
can
can't
like,
speak about this at all.
huh?
According to HIPAA, he can't talk about this at all.
Okay, well, cool. He can still get on there and as a psychiatrist and like give valuable information for people who be going through certain things or talk
Mm.
about certain medicines. Like, just really like educating people because that's what the algorithm pushes more, like on social media in general. So I wish he had like maybe like a social media manager to make him like do that because ain't no reason why he shouldn't be able to pay his rent or eat because of one person. He could flip this and like turn this into $1 million empire. If it were me thinking about it, and I had this valuable information, and
Yeah,
after going to
he
school all these
can't do
years.
that. Here's the thing: a good lawyer would be able to very easily show that it was a passive aggressive attempt at retaliation, which is illegal.
Hmm.
So he would end up losing his license. Like he literally cannot even in the vicinity of this touch it.
Hmm.
That's why the therapy community is freaking out right now. He would actually have to sue her.
That is so sad. So
It's really
is he gonna do it? You
I
think
would
he's
like
gonna do it?
Yeah, I hope he sues her. I do think him being Muslim and what's happening in that community right now, he's probably already stressed about other things that are happening. Who knows how things are affecting him politically? And he
Right,
probably is a very quiet, private man who's mortified that his business is out there.
right.
And so far, all we're doing is speculating that's him. He probably doesn't want to
Hmm.
confirm it's him because it'll be 10 times worse.
Like,
Somebody
does he
said,
have a wife and
voice
kids or
pop up and tell
anything?
what?
Does he have a wife and kids?
We don't know. He hasn't confirmed who
Oh,
he is, so we don't know anything. Honestly, this is really tough. I think he can't say anything. Let's pivot real quick
yeah.
to something a little sexier. I would like to pivot. Has anybody seen this? Shalais? Can we
Oh
talk about
yes. I just saw on Twitter somebody was like, now Shelly got Ace pregnant.
right? Y'all see these pictures?
Hmm.
Look at this. Look at this.
Hmm. It's
Y'all.
cute.
I just feel like Between them and Nicolandria, I'm just concerned about birth control.
I'm sure she's probably good. Maybe she's
Because
on the
everybody
shop.
real sexy, everybody real hunched up, everybody real, and I'm just like,
Hmm.
Shelly and Ace are just, look at y'all having reactions. Ace in his first trimester, stop. Y'all are a mess.
See, they think he's pregnant too. It could be
What
possible.
is the thing? She's a Virgo, he's a Leo, not too much on his
Mm.
masculinity, because then she might have to pay for it. They can be a little sensitive. I will say
Yeah.
this about Shalace is, were you a fan of them watching Love Island? Did you watch Love Island at all, or were you too busy watching other stuff?
No, I watched the first maybe 5 or 6 episodes because I was like at the tail end. It was literally like the last week the show was going to be on is when I like started catching on to it.
Hmm.
But I was really there for. I just wanted to see like what was really going on. Like who did you like, who did you like the most out of the guys?
So this is where shit gets tricky.
Yeah.
I was an Ace fan a year ago
Okay.
because he went viral last year for teaching the Not Like Us dance to elderly Black women and old and guys in Pakistan.
Right.
So Ace went viral last year, so I was an Ace fan a year ago before the show even started.
Hmm.
I liked Ace because he reminds me of all my exes. I'm used to dating, just vainglorious Leos.
Yeah.
When he did that thing to Jeremiah, I then became Team Jeremiah, right?
Yeah.
Until I started following Jeremiah and realized that Jeremiah is really sweet and works really hard not to be misogynistic, but he's a little
Hmm.
anti-Black. He's one of those biracial kids with the white mama who likes exotic girls and reads lots of books
Hmm.
and therapy, but he's not really for the people.
Absolutely. And I could honestly see that. I feel like he definitely was raised by his white side of the family.
Oh, absolutely. When he said he was
Or.
Nigerian, it wasn't given Igbo or Yoruba. It was given ish,
Mhm.
Nigerian-ish, if that makes sense.
But the way I feel is like I don't know not one Nigerian person that's dating another that's not dating another black person. I've never seen a Nigerian person date white people. That's
Oh,
just me.
then go to the UK, honey. It's rampant.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well,
The
that's
UK
just me,
Africans
you
are
know.
rampant dating, and they date white people specifically. It's not even like Asian. Like the
Hmm.
UK people they are in the belly of the beast of the colonizer.
Hmm.
So yeah, hard wig, soft life is a bunch of
Hmm.
West African girlies in the UK. I'll just say that.
Okay. I mean, if I really think about it, like just black men in general, especially the ones that were either raised, you can be raised by the white family or whatever, and or be raised by your black side. It's just something about like the Midwest or whatever, or dudes that are like athletes, they always go for the white women. You barely see them ever like dating other black women.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. I'm like, where do these white girls got that black women don't or whatever? And sometimes it's just, I hate to even say this, but it's just like it's a warm body at this point that they don't have to
It's a
argue with.
status symbol. It's like getting a Rolex for them because to them,
Hmm.
especially when it comes to sports, a white
Hmm.
woman means that you have reached the pinnacle of being on a white man's level because you even got his
Yeah,
bitch. You got his money
yeah,
and his bitch. So
yeah,
systemically, and I'm using the word systemic properly, unlike that lady Kendra.
yeah.
Systemically, a white woman is seen as a status symbol. Quincy Jones actually, before he passed away, admitted that him and Richard Pryor and all those black men, Sidney Poitier,
Hmm.
they all would talk about how they intentionally dated white women as a status symbol to stick it to white men, whether they liked them or not. They're
Exactly,
like, we didn't even like those bitches, but they were a status symbol.
exactly. And that's the sad part. But hey, they like it, I love it. Like I feel like when a black guy dates a white woman or someone that's not black,
Yeah.
they get away with things more easier than if they were a black woman because I feel like black women will challenge them and make them like put their best foot forward in a sense. Or does that make sense to you?
Yeah, but even if they don't, I almost feel like whatever, if a white woman and a black woman, I actually agree with your thinking. It's like if a white
Hmm.
woman, a Latina woman, and a black woman said the exact same thing verbatim with the same neck,
Hmm.
the white
Hmm.
woman doing it is, oh, she must be really upset. She's holding me accountable. The Latina woman is, oh, she's just spicy. She's a sexy, spicy Latina. The black
Hmm.
girl's a black bitch.
Yeah.
It's not even the actions. It's anything that we do that somebody else does. It looks
Yeah.
better on somebody else than on us.
Yeah.
Which is actually a great segue, friend, to the Tashina Arnold, Ari Lennox
Mm.
Martin conversation. I gave you
Yeah.
a little bit of a heads up because the headline is jarring. For those of you who haven't heard, Ari Lennox is making headlines because on a live, she admitted that she felt a way as a little girl watching Martin. I'm going to play the clip because I don't want to paraphrase it. I want all of you to hear what she said in her own words. All right, let me pull this up real quick. Add some space. Let me
Like of just like always going
refresh real quick.
how much he would go on Pam. Like I know, like and this is coming from a girl who I love me a good like joking ass movie, and it even when the joking movie is like damn, like that was fucked up, like I'm not like too woke or something is what I'm trying to say. Like I'm honestly not I'm problematic. I'm pretty problematic low key. But my point is that there are some things where I draw the line and it just bothered me, or like I don't know, it's like Pam was so fucking beautiful and so fine, and I just feel like growing up as a chocolate girl, like I don't even know if I was able to understand the greatness of Pam because of the light that I feel like I was being fed. You know what I'm saying? Like of just like always going on Pam, always like that's all I remember. And I didn't like that. But like so I feel conflicted because while I feel like this show is incredible and I feel like Martin is a legendary show and all of the actors and Tommy and like everybody like legendary, amazing. Like I adore them all. Like you have no idea. And I adore Martin. Like I adore him. It just would piss me off like the joking on Pam. I just didn't like that, Like I'll always kind of feel a way about that. The thing that pissed me off about Martin was
So, what do you think about that, John? And I'm going to say this before you answer. I
Hmm.
know that as a black man talking to a black woman, whether it's
Hmm.
subconscious or conscious, you're going to want to say something that's not going to piss me off or piss off the room or X, Y, and Z. And I want you to know that this is not that
Hmm.
kind of space, right? I don't believe in gotchas.
Yeah.
So there's no gotchas. There's not going to be any, no, that's wrong. I sincerely want to know,
Hmm.
probably evolved a little bit since we talked this morning, but I sincerely want to know, as a black man who works in comedy, who works in the industry, who's met some of these people in real life, because we live in LA and it's pretty standard.
Yeah.
What was your initial reaction when you heard that, and has that
Hmm.
evolved at all? What was your initial reaction?
My initial reaction is that she's not 100% wrong at the end of the day. Because also, I do feel like for some odd reason, like when I see like a black man dating a light, maybe even a lighter complected girl or woman, um, it does look bad in the eyes of maybe like a chocolate complected woman because they feel like dating in LA. Well, I'll just talk about LA. Dating in LA is not easy, whether you're gay, straight, woman, guy, whatever. But I feel like in regards to this, I kind of agree with you. I feel like majority of the time, women who have more melanin than lighter skinned women, they are kind of ostracized and kind of like hit in the back in a sense, and like they bring the light skinned woman more to the forefront and put her in a more positive light. And I think it's very messed up that's how it is most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and
So
I think about
you thought she had a point, is what you're saying.
yeah, I agree. I do agree.
Florence said, Tashina Arnold said that the banter with Martin was organic and low-key. The jokes never added her color and mostly were about her looks, which was tongue-in-cheek because they were thought she was pretty. The thing about that, guys, and I'm going to say this respectfully. Not
Hmm.
all black people are educated on anti-blackness, even when they're the punchline.
Hmm.
So everyone thinking Tashina Arnold's comment is the end of the conversation do not understand.
Hmm.
Sometimes the person who's the victim has no idea they're the victim, right?
Hmm.
Sometimes you need an education to know, even though that it was wrong, even though because it was normalized, right?
Yeah.
Normalized dysfunction is still dysfunction. Perfect example, when Michaela Cole did a show called I May Destroy You. In the show,
Hmm.
she talks about how she was sexually assaulted. My
Hmm.
friend and I had to rewind it. We were like, how was she sexually assaulted? And she tells the person, oh, he removed a condom without my consent while we were having sex. That's sexual assault.
Mm.
Neither of us knew that was sexual assault.
I didn't
That
either until now,
is,
but now that you think about it,
yeah, that's legally sexually assaulted. So if you had asked somebody who was uneducated were you assaulted, they would have said no, and they would have been wrong.
now
Or
what
Chris,
if she would have said like, what if she would have said like, oh yeah, I consented to the sex, but I told him to pull out, and he didn't.
Yeah, like that's sexual assault. Perfect. Chris Brown
Okay.
or all the comedians who talk about how they slept with their mother's friend growing up. That's grape. If you were 14 and you lost your virginity to your mother's friend, Miss Susie, who was 26 and fine, she graped you.
Mm-hmm.
But you're on a
That's
talk show
crazy.
on a podcast kicking about it because you have no idea that you were graped. So respectfully, Tashina Arnold's comment is fucking irrelevant. She doesn't know, right? And I will say this, colorism is not just about color.
Mm-hmm.
Colorism is anything that is a nod to blackness,
Yeah.
anti-blackness. So BDB, guys, if Martin didn't say anything but BDB, Ari's immediately right.
Mm-hmm.
BDB is making fun of naps. Who has naps, boys and girls? I'll wait. If her nickname was BDB and
Yeah.
BDB is making fun of her hair texture, who is the only people who originates that hair texture? Who is associated with and attacked for that hair texture? Black
Mm-hmm.
people, right? So them saying he never mentioned her color, he mentioned everything but. He called her a man. He called her an animal. He called her nappy. These are literally the top three things they say. And I know y'all hate when I say this word, but it's racially accurate. Jigaboos. He was making fun of Pam for being a jigaboo, even though she was a pretty one, guys. That is actually nothing but colorism.
But I will honestly say I do feel like when it comes to jokes between the two of them, Martin and Tashina's characters, I feel like Tashina always won. Like I don't remember myself like actually like saying, "Oh, that was a good one, Martin." Like
Yep.
I'm always on the woman's side. That's just me.
But here's the thing, too, and everybody says that that's a great point. She always winning is actually flipping the case for colorism because what happens to the dark skinned black girl who gets made fun of? She makes sure she's funny. She makes sure she's pretty. She makes sure she's everybody's friend. That's a trauma
Hmm.
response. She
Yeah.
dressed better than Gina. Her hair was better than Gina. Her fashion was
Hmm.
better than Gina. She had to be better than Gina and she had to be smarter than Martin so that she wouldn't look like a victim.
Yeah.
It didn't mean she wasn't victimized.
And I will say I've seen Tashina like one time in real life, maybe about a year ago, at the Glendale Gallery, and she had this badass, vibrant, like color like blue outfit on, and I was just like, damn, you came out this early. It's 9 in the morning. You got to show this outfit off. You here too early. Like you look good.
Hmm.
Like, and that's just 9 a.m. on a Wednesday or Thursday. And I'm just like, maybe in real life she is of an essence of like Pam in a sense in terms of like keeping herself together. I think all women in general, like women keep themselves together regardless. But she had that outfit on. I was like, damn, man, you single? Like,
And
yeah.
that's the thing too, and I think you recognize this in the gay community as well, and I recognize it a lot when
Hmm.
it comes to dating in the industry and trying to date straight
Hmm.
black men, which is already a trauma response in itself sometimes.
Yeah.
If you are less than, you have to look better than,
Hmm.
right? There's a reason
Yeah.
why gay people have to work out so much. Can we be honest?
Yeah.
You can't be
Yeah.
fat, ugly, and gay. You gotta pick a struggle, right?
And you
Can
can't be
we
a
be
twink
honest?
either. You can't be a twink either. You know, I know about it.
Exactly, right? So my thing
Hmm.
is, only the people at the bottom of the food chain have to look that good all the time.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, there were times I wasn't sure Gina even did brush her teeth. No offense to Gina, because I
Yeah.
want to use the character's name and not the name of the actress. But
Yeah.
I never thought Gina was prettier than Pam. I never thought
No.
I never thought she was styled better than Pam. I never thought she had a better personality than Pam. They gave
Hmm.
Pam all the amazing shit as a apology for her darkness, in my
Yeah.
opinion. Like, oh, we
Hmm.
gonna clown you like fuck, but you gonna be so fucking fly that nobody's gonna think it's wrong. Here's the thing that's shocking to me, John. I actually
Yeah.
was surprised that everybody was not in on that part of the joke. I grew up thinking we all knew she was being made fun of for being dark. I
No,
just
I
found out
didn't feel that
but
way.
nobody, huh?
I didn't feel that way. I growing up watching it, I never in my mind I never thought it was because she's chocolate. I just thought it was because like that's just a normal conversation between like your man and your best friend. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's just how it is. Like the conflict, but it's like like a hate love relationship. But y'all
Yeah.
like be cool, but yeah, we always gonna be jabbing jokes at each other. That's just how niggas is.
Well, you know what's
So I
so
never
funny?
took it.
When I grew up, I never clocked homophobic jokes until I started making queer friends. And they were like, yeah, you don't
Hmm.
think it's funny that every time there's a gay man, his fucking shirt is tied under his titties and his hands like this?
Oh, Yeah.
But here's the thing, though: little queer boys clocked that immediately.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Yeah. I mean, I remember like even me like growing up, like my mom would be like, "Don't do your hand like this" or whatever, and I'm just like, "I'm just talking. That's it. That's it." Another thing that people used to, not me directly, but just in general, they say a man crosses his legs like if the woman is like this. That's how
Mm-hmm.
a woman. This is how a woman does it, but a man has to do it like a square version.
Oh, see,
Yeah.
y'all can't
This,
cross your legs. Y'all can't eat bananas.
mm-mm.
Y'all
You
can
can't
barely.
do a
Y'all
lot of
barely
things.
allowed to wipe.
Hell, we barely can do skincare.
Yeah, well now, but now the straight boys are trying to be bad bitches, so now they're all trying to do skincare with y'all.
Exactly. Let's not get on skid marks.
Can we?
Yeah.
I will say this: I need, if I'm gonna date straight men and have that be the hill that I die on in this season of my life, because it is a hill to
Hmm.
die on, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I need one that is well groomed. Grooming is actually really important to me, but
Hmm.
unfortunately, I end up with baddies when I try to find a man that's well groomed. Let's look at some of the
Yeah.
reactions from the audience. The audience is saying things like, "Let's see if anybody," because Johne-Jonne, they were dragging her. Spank
I'm
Horton,
sure.
Kevin Hart. I did an interview with him and Melissa Ford years ago. He's mad cool.
Yeah.
He came out against Ari. So let's see some of the reactions. Big Malcolm Play Cousin said, Martin never said one joke about Pam's complexion. This is why movies and TVs today are ass. This generation is too damn sensitive. Your OG said the reaction people are having to Ari Lennox saying that about Martin is absolutely how it is to be a dark skinned woman. You bring up what you factually is happening because we know why Pam was treated the way that she was on the show, but everyone tells you that's not the reason and to shut the fuck up.
Mm.
Louis Cypher said, "Is she being a little ridiculous? Possibly. I actually don't think she's being ridiculous. But I'm not about to sit here and act like she was all the way tweaking. The BDB and buckshot jokes, yes, the buckshot jokes, were
Yeah.
absolutely colorless and dog whistles. We can't let love for the show make us disingenuous." So here's the thing, too. We already know that back in the 90s, we used to always make joke about, are you a Beyonce or are you a Kelly Rowland?
Yeah.
Why not Latavia? Why not Latoya? They always made it a point of, oh, here goes a Beyonce and a Kelly Rowland, because we wanted to say the light skinned girl versus the dark skinned sidekick.
Hmm.
Kelly Rowland's name for a whole decade became shorthand for the dark skinned sidekick.
Yeah.
So
I
it's like,
will say also. I
go for
would
it.
say also too. I would say also too. Like as a side note, when they had recently announced that Monica and Brandy were going on tour and how Kelly Rowland was opening for them,
Mm-hmm.
people in the comments were like, "Why is Kelly Rowland opening for them?" That I was just like, you know what, kind of sort of right, but I'm like, she got a family to feed too. Beyonce, she ain't on Beyonce's payroll every month. At least I don't think.
Yeah.
But when it comes to light skin versus dark like that, I mean, when Solange had beat up Jay Z in that elevator, people didn't think that Solange was a bad person, and she a light skinned woman. Now, had it been a dark skinned woman, it might have been something way bigger.
If Kelly had beat up Solange, the jokes would have been a lot meaner.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
We were all tickled that a cute little light skinned girl beat his ass. If
Yeah.
somebody dark had done it, Kelly, it would probably have followed her career and tanked her career. We actually gave Solange street cred.
Hmm.
Now,
Yeah.
here's the thing I always say, and this is why I'm so happy you're here for this
Oh,
discussion.
Case in point, Little Mama.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Little Mama.
Yeah.
It's a great point.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if Sexy Red had put Little Mama? That would have been, that would have hit very
Different.
different. Now, here's the thing that's always interesting is how Martin calling Pam a man is a dark-skinned dog whistle, because the way
Yeah.
society has it is being dark is masculine, being light is feminine. That's
Hmm.
why we make fun of dark-skinned women for not being feminine enough, and we make
Hmm.
fun of light-skinned men for not being masculine enough. You see where I'm going with this, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Johne-Jonne, can we be honest right now? Because I love you and you're my friend, which is why I want you on the show today. Can we
Hmm.
be honest right now that if I was your color and you were my color, we would both get more play?
I feel like I
Your dad
honestly,
is closer
yeah,
to my color.
my dad is your color, and what's so crazy is like my mom was light skin, my dad is your complexion, but
Mm-hmm.
my mom's genes obviously took over more of that. And the crazy part is, I literally look exactly like my dad. The only
His
difference
daddy's
between
fine,
us,
y'all. I should have brought a picture. His daddy's real fine. No offense, I like daddy.
like, thank you. But the only difference is like I look exactly like him. I'm just a light skinned version, and he's a darker skinned version. And I tell the stranger on the street all the time. I'm like, I wish I could be darker, like not in the sense of like dating or anything like that. It's just like who don't want more melanin? Like I have to be
John,
outside in the sun
you
without
are a
tan.
beautiful man. Like you have a beautiful face. We both
Thank you.
know that if you were a chocolate man with those features,
Hmm.
you're already beating them off with a stick. Not to share your business.
You're
Yeah,
fine. You're fine.
you already getting play. You do. Are we not clear? Do you disagree? You're allowed to disagree.
Go ahead.
I just know that men who look like you, who are chocolate,
Hmm.
are a fucking menace.
Absolutely. We all gonna have a little season like that in our lives, but like I like here case in point, I'm out here at the park in the
Somebody said you
middle
look
of the
like your daddy
day.
is fine.
Uh, hello. Yeah, but case in point, like me being this complexion, I have to be out in the sun in order to get any type of like tan. But the thing is, I don't turn dark. I turn red first, then I
Oh.
flake, then I turn dark. And the dark only lasts for about a week. I got to do it all over again. Like going bald, like when I first had lost my hair, it was during the time of like when the marches and stuff was going on about George Floyd. And I remember specifically, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go without like a hat on my head so I can tan, get the nice little tan. We're gonna be outside all day.
Mm-mm.
And later that night, I had a very, very bad sunburn on my scalp to the point
Ooh.
that it turned red first. I put some aloe vera oil and all this stuff on it. The next day, hurt so bad to the point to where like it started scabbing and
Mm.
pus was coming out of my scalp, like going through the process of like to get dark. So I didn't put no sunscreen on my scalp. I didn't know you need a sunscreen on the scalp, but
Yeah,
I
dude.
learned that day. I learned for that couple of weeks of like just basically being out in the sun, turning red, you flake, and now you got random like pus coming out of your scalp, and that's just not cute or fun to talk about. But it happens. I know I'm not the only but I'm not. I know I'm not the only person that happens to, but I'll have to learn from that mistake. So here we are.
Do you ever get feedback around people thinking that you're softer and sweeter because you're light?
No, people think I'm softer and sweeter because I'm more playful in a sense. I'm always joking and like my high pitched voice, like I get it, whatever. Like people will be like, "Oh yeah, he's definitely a bottom." I
And
couldn't do it.
you're
No.
not. I honestly think I'm being so serious. I think it's subconscious. I
Hmm.
know so many. To me, John, you are so hyper masculine to me.
A lot
No,
of people say
seriously,
that once they hang out about me, when they hang out with me, or like yourself
you're
as well. Like,
hyper masculine, and I actually think that
hmm,
you are more masculine than our darker friend.
yeah,
But because of your colors, because he's
hmm,
dark and you're light, people have to figure
hmm,
that out because they're assuming the opposite. That's colorism.
yeah,
He's
like,
chocolate and tender, but because he's
hmm,
chocolate, they think he's gonna be masculine. They're like, "Oh, he's sweet," and then they see
hmm,
you, they're like, "Oh, he gonna be sweet," and then you come up with that deep voice thing you do, and you start opening doors and shit. You're like, "Oh,
hmm,
he up top like shit. He's just light." Like I've seen,
exactly,
I've walked into the clubs with both of y'all and seen people realize
hmm,
this Friday.
yeah, yeah. It's complete opposite. I'm not the one that wears jock straps, thongs. I'm not mad at nobody that do that. That's just not me. Like just case in point, this past weekend in New Orleans, they had this big red dress walk thing where it's a lot of gay people
Oh, they're
there. Well,
asking if
gay
you're
men. They
queer. If you watch the episode, yes, he's a queer man. For the now, y'all trying to hit on John. Look at you,
is my name spelled right so they can find me? No, I
right?
just play. You know.
You know,
Um, yeah, they had this red dress march or whatever in New Orleans, and I was just like, I'm sorry. Like, if I personally, I would not be in a dress in general. That's just not for me.
hmm
But even if I went to like support that movement, like I might do a red hat. That's about it. I ain't getting no dress. That ain't for me. Like I'm still a nigga at heart. That's just not my thing. Like even like going to places like Brazil with friends and stuff like that. Like last year, it was like, oh, why didn't you bring no speedos? I'm like, nigga, cause I'm not a speedo type of nigga. That ain't
hmm
me. Like I like,
You're quick to assume.
yeah, like I like breeze. I don't like tidy whities. That's not my. That ain't who I am.
It's so funny too because I feel like a lot of times we don't realize how political dating is. Dating is political. Sex is political, right? Like what you desire does speak to like your politics in some way, whether you want it to inform it or not.
Yeah.
Would you ever date a white man?
Mm, I kind of feel like he got to know about the culture. Like he got to come a little bit closer to getting right.
He gotta be light skinned. Like we got white people like that light skin. He gotta be a little
Like
swirly.
no, not even that. Like you can't be like for me. Like okay, here's the point. There's this dude in my gym. I think he's just cross between white and Hispanic maybe, but he
Hmm.
got like this. Like he got like he's more tanned, if that makes sense. He's
Hmm.
not like pale or anything like that. Like you got to have a little bit of melanin. You got to have like some sense of community
Cultural
or
competency.
yeah, yeah, just a little bit like if you're gonna be white, like you gotta get a lineup like a black dude, like some like
Okay,
little
okay,
things
wait,
like
wait,
that.
wait, wait, John. You had to be in a
Yeah.
Caesar, John. Okay, never mind. So we
Hmm.
got our answer. You want John
Yeah.
B. John B is the only kind of white man that you would think about.
With a tan. That's it.
Well,
Yeah.
now you're making him black. If he has a Caesar and a tan, it's called a black man, John John.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Just like that.
I said, John John, would you say white man? If he had a Caesar and a tan, that's called a nigga. Okay, you know what?
Yeah.
That is. I think that is.
Mm, absolutely. Hello. What are we
You know,
doing?
you know what's so that's I mean that's clear. You know what's so interesting though is that there are so many men in the community who, and I've seen this a lot everywhere. A lot of
Hmm.
black gay men only date white men or non-black men, and I think women don't realize it's not just them who go through that. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So it's always to me black on black love because we always talk about black on black crime as if black on black love isn't also
Hmm.
a thing. Black on black love is something that when I see it, I applaud it because it's so not the trend, which is why I think
Hmm.
Shellaced is so beloved because Shellaced is like a 90s throwback.
Yeah.
A black man who likes a black woman who's even darker than him feels like a 90s throwback, unfortunately.
I was on Twitter maybe a day or two ago, and I was just strolling or whatever, and somebody had said, "I'm sorry, but dating a white man and let him top you is too close to slavery." And I
Oh,
was like, you know what? You're not wrong. Now that you say that, I actually would think that, and I know I personally wouldn't let no white man do that to me, but I
if
understand
a
where they're
white man
coming
was on
from.
top of you and his gold chain was slapping you in the face, it would feel too much like the color purple or something. You would freak out.
Absolutely, no, no,
The look
no.
on your face, you would fight him. You would start swinging. I just saw it in your face. If the violence flashed past your eyes, friend. We all
Yeah,
saw
we
that,
all
right?
got a
We
dark
all saw
side.
the violence flash across John's eyes.
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely. Too close to slavery. You will not be doing that. Get away from behind me.
Y'all
No.
can't tell, but John works out a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And so with his big old titties. John got titties and arms and back.
Everywhere I go, people be grabbing my titties. I'm like, listen, y'all can get them too. Just do some push-ups. You straight.
Not everybody's push-ups do that, John. Like not everybody can just have a protein shake and a piece of chicken and grow up like so this man went
The
from
crazy
being
part, I didn't even have a protein shake in like 8 months.
that's
This
genetics
is
then.
this this is this is Indiana in me, Be a little
Right now,
thick.
we're gonna watch a video from a black woman who talks about how she deals with the um, unconscious bias towards darker women, and I wanted to hear her say what she has to say because I think this applies to all black people, but I do think it's worse based on your gender and or shade. Does that make sense?
Hmm.
I feel like she's
Yeah.
about to talk about all black people experience it, but how dark you are and what gender you are definitely plays a point. Let me add this to the look at me learning how to share screens and do this. 2 weeks ago, I didn't even know
Hmm.
child. Now I'm clicking buttons.
You running that network.
It's almost like a bitch is learning. All right.
Hmm.
Understood despite how quick
Let me do a restart.
of me, exhaustion from being misunderstood despite how clear I am. Here's a low stakes example from earlier today. I walked into a candy shop and I asked, "Do you guys have any plain chocolate truffles?" He said, "Yes." I go, "Wonderful. I would like to buy them." He asks me how many I want. I say, "All of them. If they are plain chocolate truffles, I would like the entire tray." Now, while he's bagging them up, I do what I usually do, which is clarify once again. So I ask, just to be sure, "Those are plain chocolate truffles, right?" He goes, "Yes. Would you like to try one?" I say, "Sure." So he hands me one. I bite into it. There's a crunch. I am immediately run off because, first of all, why is there a crunch? A plain chocolate truffle should not be crunchy. So I ask him, "What did I just bite into? Why is there a crunch?" He goes, "Oh, it has a hint of toffee in it." Then it isn't a plain chocolate truffle. Now,
Hmm.
is it?
Mm-mm.
This happens to me constantly. And what's funny is that in higher stakes situations where these kinds of miscommunications have cost me time, money, energy to recover from, I've asked people, hey, just so that I don't end up here again, what could I have said? How should I have phrased things for you to hear me as I spoke, to hear my words as they were spoken? You know what I get told every time? It wasn't you. There's nothing that you could have done. I get a lot of apologies, but it's like, I don't want an apology. I want you to hear me the first time I speak because I'm so careful. I choose my words very deliberately. It's not sustainable to expect me to go my entire life being misunderstood in this way that I cannot control. You know what's likely to be the death of?
So that was a very low stakes example. For those who are like, Blue, are you sure that's racial? They have done studies because a bitch loves studies. And in this study, found that a lack of spatial awareness is a racial microaggression. If you're walking across the street and there's a white woman coming at you, she 9 times out of 10 is going to expect you to move. White
I
people,
get
they
that.
tested them repeatedly, like thousands of white people, even the good ones, even the allies. If they're walking and a person of color is walking towards them, they subconsciously expect you to be the one to move. And so I tested
I
it. Every time a white person would walk towards me, I wouldn't move, and they would all be stunned, like, "Bitch, why haven't you moved? Don't you know how this goes?"
No, bitch, I'm gonna stand right here while you walk around. I do that. I literally do that almost every day. If I'm walking straight, I'm not gonna make a curve so you can get past. We just gonna
Yeah,
be standing at each other's face. Now, when it comes to like being very careful, when she was talking about being very careful of like how she perceives or like is speaking to the person so she doesn't have to repeat herself,
that part.
girl, I feel like she's gonna have to deal with it, whether you're careful or not. Because like for me, case in point, I hate like when I'm getting into an Uber or if I go to a doctor's appointment where I'm just now meeting somebody new for the first time at a party or whatever the case is, I'll say, "Hi, my name is John John." "Oh, it's nice to meet you, John." You didn't finish it. "My name is John John. Listen to
Mhm.
me." I'll walk to the Uber. I'll be like, "Hello, John. It's John John." Before I get in your car, it is John John, and you will listen to me before I get into your car and call me John John. Don't do that. Don't. I hate like nobody can. I never let anybody get away with shortening my name unless you're a family member. Only my family back home calls me John for short.
I've never even thought of calling you anything but John John, funny enough. I just feel like I want
Exactly.
your name, so I call you the name you told me to call you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like, and nobody's like horribly wrong. It's just people like nine times out of ten. Like, say if you ask me like, would you like when they call you JJ or John, like whatever, it's John John. That's it. You
Names are
know.
very important when you're a person of color, and especially when you're a black person, which is different from being a person of color. I
Yeah.
always find it interesting when I get into an Uber, if they're listening to some soft jazz, the minute I get in, suddenly it's ratchet, ratchet, ratchet. How do you know I don't have a headache? Why is it to the windows, to the walls, to the sweat falls on your balls every time I get into the Uber? How do you
Because
know
they're
I don't, I
pregame.
don't, I don't like world? Like what? How we get here? I like
Because
Tchaikovsky.
I mean, maybe it's their pregame for after they drop your ass off. They can go party because you just pay for them to get their money to go out.
It never fails. I've actually watched Uber drivers playing their like soothing music really loud. As I'm
Hmm.
approaching, I'm hearing them change the dial and cranking it up to, and I'm like, you are assuming so much right now. And guess what? Turn the whole
Hmm.
thing off. I don't want to hear your music. Turn the whole thing off.
Actually, I get in the car and they be on the phone with whoever overseas talking about, oh no, you just gotta stand this way, do this and do that. Like,
I will
I'm
tell you.
like, sorry, you say something? Oh no, he be like, oh no, no, I'm on the phone.
You know what's so
I
funny is that
I pay for this.
your money's different though. They're probably thinking, oh, he's probably like a rapper. How do he get that money? He probably a streamer. And here's the thing: if you were a rapper, so what?
The Uber is $8.
The cheat code for you guys who are getting talking about microaggressions is the next time somebody, even another black person, because black people can internalize racism as well, right? We can sometimes be the biggest carriers of these microaggressions. Is
Yeah.
if you are asking something that makes sense and someone is trying to gaslight you into thinking that you are crazy, do not be reactive. Become 10 times calmer and say these words: "I
Hmm.
am being reasonable."
Hmm.
What is the issue with my reasonable question? What is the issue with my reasonable concern? What is the issue with my reasonable pushback? Because the thing that happens to folks is they don't realize they are trying to make you sound crazy. Something about the words "I am being reasonable." So what is the issue? I've literally watched people snap into attention like, "What? Be a Karen. Be confused." Okay, but I just reasonably asked you to turn down the music because I'm paying for an Uber Black at a premium and have a headache. What's the issue? What is the
Yeah.
issue? Asking for
Oh,
more?
I got a good one. So last week I was getting to an Uber to go to the gym, right? I got down there like maybe 30 seconds. You have 5 minutes to get to the Uber. You know my building, like it's the elevators are very slow. So I get down there, I get in the car. It was like, oh, I tried to hit you up. You ain't answer the phone. I was about to leave your ass for real. So next time, make sure you call me if you're gonna be late. When he said that, I was like, let me just be quiet and got him on phone. I'm just ignoring him. I'm like, he don't want to remember. So I was quiet for like 10 seconds, and then he asked me, he's like, "Oh, did you hear me?" I said, "Yeah, I heard you." Some white man said, "You know what? I'm gonna cancel your ride, and you can get you another Uber." By all means, and I
Are
got
you
out.
serious?
Yeah, and I got the fuck out and caught another Uber.
Okay, so I will say
Yeah,
this. When you saw this, I love that we're having this conversation, John, because you approach it so honestly.
yeah,
And also, John's not anti-black, guys. I actually could not have this conversation with a man who
mhm,
looked exactly like John if he was anti-black. So it's like the fact that you are so pro-black is part of the reason why I feel comfortable having this conversation with you.
yeah.
And you're also very chivalrous because not all queer men like women, can be honest. Um,
I grew up in a house full of women. I have no choice.
if y'all watch this episode, guys, please let us know what you thought about John's episode. I'm still stunned that your mother's only 13 years older than you because that's still a read on me and my age group.
Yeah, she's 45, 46. I'm 33.
Raise your hand if you feel attacked that John's mother is 45, 46. Raise your hand if you
Yeah.
feel personally attacked and would like to see compensation. Because John's mother, this big ass grown black man's mother, is 45, 46. That's fine. Somebody
Kourtney
recently went
Kardashian could be my
viral.
mom.
Huh?
I said Kourtney Kardashian could be my mom.
Kourtney Kardashian could literally be your mother. Yeah.
Yeah,
Could
she just
literally.
turned 45.
That's wild to me. Somebody said, I hope you reported him. Oh, I thought you may have reported John for being a baby. Okay, so
No, I'm gonna make a TikTok about it. I just didn't have, just haven't cared enough to like make that annoy me for the day. Like it is what it is. I move on with my day, but I'm saying it now because I'm just like, oh, guess what? That happened, but shit, I still like I'm straight. That nigga the
I'm
one that
going to
chose that job.
I'm gonna do something that I did not plan to do, but you guys remember
Hmm.
how I told you? So John, I did an epic 5 hours, 6 hour story time.
Hmm.
And the people in here have seen the story time, but they don't realize who you are in my story time. In my
Oh.
story time, I say to y'all about halfway through, and
Hmm.
then one day before our third date, my friend John told me when we were playing the "What's the Worst Smell Ever" game that the worst smell he ever smelled was veneer breath. And a week later,
Hmm.
I said, "Ooh, that's what that is."
Hmm.
I remember that part of the story time. This is the John I was talking about. This is
Yeah.
who told me what veneer breath was a week before I would be experiencing it for the first time. Now, here's what's
Hmm.
funny. Before that ex threatened me publicly and made me have to do that story time, John, we haven't talked
Yeah.
about this. The boys and girls are talking about my story time, right? I'm aware. Before
It's
I
okay.
did that story time, I went to John's house, not knowing I was about to be like attacked and have to defend myself. And John and I
Hmm.
were going to do some videos for his TikTok shop. And he had a breath
Hmm.
spray. And he
Hmm.
said, okay, let's improv about this breath spray. And I, not knowing what was on the horizon, said, well, remember when you told me about veneer breath? Nigga, I actually smelt it a week later. Let's
Hmm.
do our TikTok about that. I do the
Hmm.
TikTok about veneer breath, not even thinking that Icky would ever come up publicly, not even saying his
Yeah.
name. A week
Hmm.
later, I do a video about that story time and have to mention it. Right after my story time goes viral, John texts me, Blue, we all got a million hits on our TikTok about veneer breath.
And
A
we need to run
million.
that back at least 10 more times. Because that
I'm going
video
to
is
play the
printing
video,
money.
John. I'm going to play the
It's
video.
printing money. Yeah.
We're making money off of veneer breath. Like, literally, the fact that this man's veneer breath
Hmm.
is feeding so many households.
Yeah. It's about to buy me a new car.
All right, somebody said, like tonsil stones. Ew, I don't want to know what tonsil stones smell like. All right, let's play the video real quick.
Oh, we need that. What they smell like?
I know, John, you and revealing me the smells and stuff, you've done enough. All right, so you guys, I'm about to play me and John's first improv video to go viral. John, thank you for having me as your co-star.
You're welcome.
I hope
We
you
love
sold
the
a lot
cast.
of biotic mouth spray. I hope you sold a lot of these.
Oh, absolutely. I did sell a lot. They just sent some new flavors over the weekend, so me and you, we got to work this week.
Absolutely. And can I have one? Because I just
Hmm.
want to taste it. All right, guys, this is the video that
Hmm.
John and I did together. Let me see if the volume's all the way up because I know TikTok be having low volume. Hold on.
Hmm.
All right. Now we're doing a premiere of our improv. This is a hilarious live, by the way.
This is a hook.
So we have a problem.
We do?
Yeah.
What's up?
Thanks to you, I now know what veneer breath is.
Do you?
Yeah, you told me about veneer breath.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went on a date
Mm-hmm.
with you know who, and I smelt it.
What does it smell like?
Leftover food and ass. Oh.
No salad?
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay. Well, what happened? Did you tell them? Like, what?
No, I think I might need to find somebody else. What I can't do is have a man who smells like it.
Okay. You want to give him another chance if he didn't smell like that?
Of course I would, but I don't want to be embarrassed.
Okay. I'm trying to hook the fellas up now.
What happened?
Give them this.
What the hell is that?
It's a probiotic spray that's going it's going to make your man breath smell better than what you just said.
Wait, a probiotic spray that also makes your breath smell good?
It makes your breath smell good. It kills all the bacteria in your mouth and also go down to your gut so you can like poop it out. Because you know it all starts in your gut.
So from the rooter to the tutor?
Yeah, literally from
How much is it though? Because I am not paying money for a man. Like I'm not one of them girls who's gonna be tricking on a dude. That's not my ministry.
I know it's not. It's cool. You're all right. You need like $2 for $14.
2 for 14?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, even he can afford that.
Actually, you go ahead and keep that one. I'm ordering some more.
Good looking out, friend.
Yeah.
By the way, rent us too soon.
Okay.
Love you.
Mm-hmm.
Bye.
Yeah.
John, had I known that the world would find out who this man is, I never would have made that video. Oh, wait, you're on mute. Me, I'll mute you. Go ahead.
Did they find him?
Oh, I didn't tell you, friend. He stole one of my videos on TikTok, went viral with my video. I posted underneath it, like, y'all, I can't believe this man stole my video. He posted a timestamp saying I posted it first. I posted a timestamp of showing that I actually posted it first. And then he threatened me. And so I said, fuck you, I'm going on live and did a live telling the entire story.
Okay.
So I did not know when I made that video with you that a week later, this man would publicly threaten me and I would have to expose who he was.
It's okay. We'll make 10 more.
John.
You're going to make money off of this. You got to capitalize off of this.
John, that's me. I feel bad. I would have never made that video had I known that you would know who he was.
Sometimes it's the mistakes. You know, and how does he know that it was actually him? It could be some other dude. Everybody in LA got fucking veneers. He ain't the only one.
Oh.
I ain't got him yet, but I'm gonna get him. But he don't know that we was talking about him specifically. It's a lot of other niggas that got him too.
The fact that the universe saw fit for me to do a commercial about him before I knew that he would be exposed.
Mm-hmm.
The amount of times that my spirit guides have chosen violence.
Yeah.
In a way that I did not consent to and would not have done unless I had no other choice but to defend myself.
Mm-hmm. And you got it back for it, right?
Huh?
You're going to get it back for it. Yeah.
Well, I already did.
Yeah. You can get another one. Get your car next. Yeah, it'll work.
You wouldn't feel bad if somebody that you once cared for put you in a position where you had to expose him after you spent a year and a half keeping them safe and keeping them anonymous? You wouldn't feel bad? My guys are ruthless. Yes, they are, guys. You wouldn't feel bad for real?
No, because you got to think about the shit. You got to think about the shit that person that did to you, and now you did it very the one that we did, like, it was very platonic. You ain't say no names. You ain't say what he looked like. You ain't give his address, no shit like that. Like, case in point, you could be talking about anybody. Who said it was about him directly?
I think I just
He assumed that. He assumed that. So at the end of the day, you gonna make your back from it, and he gonna do what he need to do, which is go get them teeth chopped down just a little bit, especially if they too big. So we gotta
it was
get the
a
breath
one-time
under
thing,
control.
guys. I smelled the veneer breath one time. I don't know what it is about me, John. The idea that someone could be feeling insecure about themselves because of something that I said, even if it's accurate, really sincerely bothers me as an empath. Like it makes it hurt. Like I hurt at the idea of making somebody else's experience hurt.
And
Oh, well, okay.
maybe
Well,
it's something they needed to know. Like, go fix that shit. You want nobody to be talking about you. Yeah.
John, okay, well, I want to pivot real quick to you
Hmm.
guys are probably making fun of me that I'm still showing this man grace even after what he did to me. I know I'm soft. I am soft. I am.
It's okay. It's
I
okay.
live in
We all learn.
I just don't like being cruel, and I hate when I'm put in a position where I feel like I have to be to defend myself. I just hate it. Now,
Yeah.
Shannon Sharp, have you heard about Shannon Sharp? We all thought that after Shannon Sharp retired his OnlyFans ex-girlfriend slash victim, that he
Hmm.
would be able to establish his career, but now he has been removed from ESPN despite paying her off.
Well, he better start interviewing TikTok shop creators because it's the only way he gonna make some money.
Not just
You know,
Shannon Sharp.
I actually hope the black woman. I hope the black woman get it though, but she black, and if a white woman, eh,
We do have white fans. Shout out to the white allies
yeah,
who watch us.
yeah, and if a Caucasian woman is getting 30 million out of him, the black woman should be getting 50 for her, for not only for the video, but also and what she going through mentally and all that shit. But also, this is another piece of like reparations for her and her family. You know, we don't know what she's been through in life, and the fact that him and Ocho Cinco did that, like they both should pay up. Because we all know that Ocho Cinco is very cheap,
He's very
very
cheap.
cheap. Yeah,
It's so funny. Somebody said, I love Jessie Wu, but she is hilariously ruthless. Be clear, Jessie is a Cancer and John is a Pisces. Water signs are ruthless. Y'all think it's
yeah.
the fire and the earth signs? No. Me, as someone who's fire and who's earth and air,
Hmm.
Jessie and John are 10 times more ruthless than me. They're sweet, but they'll
But
cut you.
I'm water, earth, water, everything else water.
What's your rising sign?
Cancer. I'm
You're water.
Pisces.
Then you're water
Yeah,
then.
yeah. I'm Pisces, Virgo, Cancer.
John, did you watch the horoscopes I did? Everybody was hitting me up today saying how they felt like I was exposing their bullshit, their lives.
You be exposed to mine all the time, so I just be like, you know what, girl, you got it.
Wait a minute.
You got it.
What is it
No,
like
but
being
you.
friends with a psychic though? Like, does that ever bother you, or are you ever nervous that I'm going to say something or pick up on something?
No, no. I love it. Honestly, I just like somebody had sent me someone else that's based out of Atlanta, or whatever. He's like, did you call her? I was like, no, I didn't, because for me right now in life in general, I just would. I want to allow God to do the things in a shocking way for me versus me like going to ask somebody to tell me what God is going to do for me.
And you don't want to overthink it.
Yeah, I don't want to overthink it, and I just feel like just even like right now, like just in life in general, I'm just like I I just want to see it when it happens and not being told that it's going to happen. Because when it comes to manifestation, you have to operate and live as if the blessing is already
Yeah.
is already here and it has come. So
Yeah.
that's how I operate, and by doing that, there has been a lot of amazing development that I'll share with you privately. But I'm just like, you just never really know when or how, whatever. But it really happens in a sense of like shock, like, oh, I wasn't even thinking of that, or I wasn't thinking of this. Oh, like this contract is set aside for someone like me. I would have never thought. So that's why I just like I appreciate it. But like right now, that's just what I'm experiencing, and I'm excited.
What you're describing, by the way, which I've always associated with you, so I'm happy that we
Hmm.
organically have a moment to talk about this, is you are a
Hmm.
master of what is called the law of detachment.
Hmm.
For anybody who's watching who doesn't know anything about this, so there's several spiritual laws. One of them is called the law of detachment. The law of detachment says if you want something, move as if it is already done and let it go.
Yeah.
Don't obsess, don't think about it. The perfect example is, let's say you're in a relationship with somebody and you trust your man. So he said he
Hmm.
going to work, you believe him. He goes to work, you live about your life. You see him after work, you guys have a great time, right?
Yeah.
Let's say somebody doesn't trust their man. Now they're hitting refresh on his stories. They're seeing if he has any new followers. They're making sure that they're checking his phone when he's in the shower. Even if they find nothing, the frequency of not trusting is so desperate, it
Yeah.
pushes that man away. So suddenly, the girl who's not getting cheated on is getting dumped because she's clingy. And the girl who's
Hmm.
also not getting cheated on is getting an engagement ring because she wasn't clingy. They can have
Yeah.
the same man, but the energy of attachment makes you act as if you don't believe it. So therefore, you're pushing it away. A lot
Yeah.
of times people will be in a great relationship, and because they're anxious, they don't believe the relationship is real, and they subconsciously sabotage it.
Hmm.
You tend to
Now,
speak when things are already done, and then you put in the work, but you're not operating from desperation, you're operating from faith.
yeah.
Faith and desperation
Yeah,
don't feel the same frequency. They're different frequencies.
yeah. And that's 100% true. Like I remember, I think it's maybe a month or so ago, maybe at the beginning of summer, you're like, you're about to be in a relationship, but you got to let go of something. I'm like,
I told you that a couple of weeks ago. Okay, man, sorry.
yeah, that was a couple months ago. No,
Yeah, I
you're
told you.
fine though. But yeah, just I think about that from time to time, and like a couple of other people have said that, like just
It's on
randomly.
you,
I'm
friend.
like,
It's all over your spirit.
yeah, for sure. Like I agree. Like I'm sure at some point soon I'll be in a relationship. I don't know who, when, where, what, how, but at the end of the day, it's just like I'm not, I'm not looking for it. I like things to happen very organically. I'm not also not going to beg for it either. It's not that deep.
Hmm.
Like I'm still going to live my life as gracious as I've always had, and I'm going to have fun, and I'm going to be around people with, like-minded attributes, for like a better term. But if when that does happen, I will, obviously let you know. And I don't know who it's going to be, but
You know I'm gonna
here
want to
we
sniff him
are.
out. Like bring him to the Soho House so we can sniff him out.
Yeah, do you hear this gay white man with his dog back here just singing to the rooftop?
I thought that was the radio. That's a man.
Yeah, that's a white gay man. Yeah, they all up over here at this park, girl.
He can
I
sing
just,
though. I'm not even gonna hold you.
yeah.
I thought it was a black person.
No, it's a white man.
You
But
know what I
I
should
did.
write down, John?
Hmm.
You're the first kiss I've had who has lips as big as mine.
So speaking of that, I got like three different lit companies that had sent me some shit,
Oh,
and they
we
was
can do
like,
a
"Oh my
video about
god,
that. The
like,
two of us, we
yeah,
can sell some lip something, child. The two of us,
yeah,
we got four mouths between us.
yeah." One is I ain't even gonna say the name of the companies, or whatever, because I'm gonna show you. But one of the like the lip things, basically like it's for people with smaller lips, and
Oh,
it's like one of those things that like make them a little bit plump. It's like a plumper for your lips. And I was
mm,
like, could you imagine if I was using that thing? I would look like Chris Jenner when they was on vacation in Bora Bora in that one episode. Did you see
don't
the
I
episode when her
remember,
shit blew up?
I remember when it blew up and she looked like a fucking blowfish. And here's the
She
wild
looked
thing:
crazy.
have you always known you had big lips?
Absolutely, because I tell the story like online sometimes, but I used to get teased for having big lips by women specifically, and they would be like, "Oh, that means you got a strong mouth tone, whatever. Like he's gonna do some amazing things sexually." And I'm just like, we're just on the fucking
That's
recess
inappropriate to a
playground.
child. You dirty bitch. Yeah.
Well, we're all kids. I'm like, bitch, this is recess. We in the fourth grade. What are you doing?
In the
I
90s and early
know.
2000s, they would call us DSLs. That stands for dick sucking lips for those of you who are not around in the 1900s.
Yeah,
And I used to have, it's so funny. Sometimes self esteem can make you delusional. Because when I started to
yeah,
like
but I know.
myself, I stopped being like worried about my big lips. I thought
Mm,
that my face had grown into them. It wasn't until
mm,
last year I tried to use a filter, and the filter tried to make my lips bigger, and I was like, "Well, that looks clownish." And I was like,
yeah,
"Why do my lips look so big in pictures?" And she said, "Bitch, in pictures."
yeah,
And I was like, "Wait, you think my lips are big in real life?" And she was like, "Bridge," she was like, "Blue, seriously?" I have
yeah.
mouth dysphoria. I had no idea that my mouth had stayed big. I liked myself so much, I convinced myself that they had shrunk.
No, like I remember when I was a kid, like people would be like, "What would be like one thing you would change about your body when you're older?" And I would be like, "I want to get my lips reduced." You always get
Same.
bullied for having big lips. And now that we're adults, obviously everybody you're paying thousands to have them, and while we have them naturally, and it's just like, yeah, you know what? I have never had any complaints about these lips when it
Ooh,
comes to men.
ooh.
Yeah,
Same
clock
and
it.
clock
Yeah,
it.
there we go.
If I had
So,
on the playground what I know now, I would have just been like, bitch, let's check back
hmm
in 20 years. Not a
yeah.
complete fight. I will say
Here's
this.
another thing.
What? Sorry, I want to make sure
No, I was
the
gonna say.
what's happening in that poll. God damn, you got people singing white
Mm,
hymns and
Oh, I think it's the English driving fast. I just came to the part that I was like, oh, this is different. Let's do this. That way I can get a chance at some times. I'm very pale. Anywho, um, so long story short, I was watching this girl on YouTube. Her name was Kyra, and she
Mhm.
was like giving all her like skincare things, body like oils, all that stuff, like just giving like uh, information to people watching it. And she had came out with this straw that kind of like has a heart shaped thing around like the straw where you drink from.
Mhm.
Basically, what that does is that it helps keep your lips from wrinkling as you age.
Now I gotta worry about mouth wrinkles. It's too much. No.
I didn't. When she said that, I was like, my lips can age. She's like, yeah. When you be having on a video, I'm gonna send it to you. When the video, like when you have like cracks or whatever in your lips and they're not smooth, that means your lips are getting wrinkles. And so I'm like, you know what?
What?
Yeah, yeah,
New
she ate
fear
with that one.
unlocked. Hold on. What?
She ate with that
Mouth
one. I'm gonna see you the
pickles?
video. You can get mouth wrinkles, so that's why she got that straw to help smooth them out, and it actually works. Her shit look good. Like it's like the calm skin, beautiful woman, but her lips is smooth, so she's like, I'm gonna
John, why
start
would
doing
you
this.
tell me that?
Exactly. You done put on the lip gloss 4 times since I said it 30 seconds ago. So
Because this is
I'm
trauma. I'm scared now.
what do you think? I'm about to order the thing. When she said that, I was like, oh, thank God somebody said something. I can add that to the repertoire.
Oh my God, do I have mouth wrinkles? What is going on? Okay. This is why
I do.
consumerism
I
is.
do.
You have mouth wrinkles?
Hmm.
Uh, I thought that was just like. I thought that was just a mouth.
It is a mouth, but you can see the wrinkles. They're not smooth.
First of all, John, both of our mouths this close to the screen. This is. It looks like two fish. One thing I said, somebody said you got me reapplying. Yes, for
Yeah.
anybody who's asking, wait, what happened? John has now given us all a new phobia of mouth wrinkles.
Hmm.
I don't know how we got here. I will say
Yeah.
this. I want to end on this note as far as hot topics.
Yeah. I got 7% left on this phone.
Yeah, I have to wrap up.
Sorry.
We wrap up in 7 minutes. So
Okay.
Tracy Ellis Ross is getting backlash.
Yeah.
The last time John came on, we taped that episode the day after they announced that Malcolm Jamal Warner had tragically died
Hmm.
while saving his daughter in Costa Rica.
Hmm.
Tracy Ellis Ross is now getting backlash because her homage to him on her page is a bunch of pictures from when they were doing acting gigs together.
Hmm.
But in all the pictures, they're saying the pictures are inappropriate. I'm going to show you in this audience right now the pictures that Tracy Ellis Ross posted in her goodbye to her friend. And you let me know if you agree that something is wrong. What was that, a hiccup? All right, let me do this right now. So I'll read the message. It says, I love you, Malcolm. First, I met you as a Theo with the rest of the world. Then you were my first TV husband. My heart is so sad. What an actor and friend you were. Warm, gentle, present, kind, thoughtful, deep, funny, elegant. You made the world a brighter place. Sending you so much love to your family. I'm so sorry for this unimaginable loss. Tracy. Do we think these pictures of them working together are inappropriate? And Mara Brakakil wrote, I'm so sorry under Tracy's thing.
I mean, they worked together. It was a job. It wasn't anything personal. But you also have to think about the women he has been with in the past, the women that he used to date in the industry that we all know about. Are people going at them?
So you don't think
Exactly.
it's inappropriate?
No, that those were
I didn't see anything wrong. I thought maybe I'm dead on the inside. I didn't really get it at first.
no, it's fine. People just want some shit to talk about, but they just mad because they got to go to work and she has nothing to do with what they got going on. People just want something to talk about. That's it.
Now here's the thing: if you were in a partnership and your spouse died in a tragic
Hmm.
accident, and their co-star posted this picture, would you feel a way about the intimacy of the picture?
No, because we all knew that it was just work.
Yeah,
And I was
honestly,
on set and I
I don't
made
get it.
sure that nothing was going on behind closed doors.
Wait, whoa! John just got violent.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be upset because that bitch would have already known. Wow. Okay. Well.
yeah, yeah. And I was there. So yeah, you finished
Somebody
with the
said
scene.
now
Come
the
on.
way he looked at her was. Oh, some of you. Someone said I disagree. They are bypassing her relationship with him as if it didn't matter. Yeah. And these are promo pictures, by the way. These are not like him and her hugged up on the couch behind this. Like these are pictures that were put in a magazine already.
Right.
I
So it's
honestly think
nothing new.
everybody wants to be mad. Everybody wants a reason to be mad.
That show was from 15 years ago. She left after the first season and made them get a divorce, and they were supposed to be this happy, jolly family.
John,
BT. They good for like ruining shows. That's why didn't nobody watch the second season. They had to put it on BET her and not BET because they knew we was gonna come at them because they always ruin the shit. They ruin hit the floor. They ruin the game.
not
What
you
else?
having all the tea. Before we wrap up, I want to ask you this question that I started with that I never actually waited for an answer. How did you
Yeah.
feel watching your episode, love?
Oh, I love my episode. It was great. Like I had a really good time. I received more than I put out. Obviously, I was just sharing my journey and stuff like that. And sometimes it's okay to receive. Like say, if a person's like, "Oh, I'm gonna give you your flowers," to this, and that. for me, it's like, okay, let me actually receive it in this moment because I know how much positivity and love that I can give to another person.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so I'm just really appreciative, and this is just the start of the beginning.
I actually really love the episode. I think a lot of people could tell how much fun you and I probably have in real life.
Yeah,
So that
yeah,
was, that was something. John, please make sure that everybody knows how they can reach you because I loved talking to
hmm
you about hot topics and
yeah.
seeing your park adventures. There's a lot going on in that park. Get home safe, please.
I'm about to go. Yes, a
There's a
lot,
lot,
but
there's a lot going on in that park. All right, where can people find?
just people like out here with their dogs. That's really it.
Oh, okay, because between the
Yeah,
white M's and the fire truck, it got a little spicy for a second. Where can people
yeah, it
find you?
is. Yeah, y'all can find me on social media. My name is spelled on, I'm not sure if it's on the screen, but it's John hyphen Jonne is where y'all can find me on all social media.
And I put it on the screen. It's Johne-Jonne Smith. You guys can find him everywhere that you have Wi-Fi. And please look out for our next viral TikTok ad.
Mhm. Coming to a screen near you.
We need to have some time before I leave. All right, guys. I'm
hmm
gonna let John go because he has to go take care of whatever's happening. I
Yeah, I'm
am
about
so.
to go. This phone is on 5%, so if
Oh
I
yeah,
need to.
5%. You gotta go. I love you, friend.
I love you.
You guys, that was so fun. Someone said Blues Channel is addicting. I don't know why. All I do is keep with my friends. And here's the thing, guys. These are my real friends in real life, as you can tell from when you watch these lives. And these are real people. And I think a lot of times when people are successful or have a following, we tend to dehumanize them, which is why the show is called Humanized. I had dinner with my friend John Ali and my friend Mike Goyo on Saturday. I took them to dinner for their birthday because I had missed Mike's. They have the same birthday, August 1st. I had missed the birthday party because I was actually sick. And while we were talking, it's so funny. We're at this place called Linden in LA, and we're having dinner. And all of a sudden, Kenya Barris walks in, and me, him, Mike, and Jean were all wearing green, like these vibrant shades of green. And I remember looking at them and saying, "This green is for money, right?" When you're in a space like that and you're covered in green, you're like, "Oh, this green is for money." And we're talking about their careers. For those who don't know, Jean played Issa's queer brother Amir on Insecure. Mike was a writer on Insecure, and then later ended up playing in the finale as Amir's boyfriend. They're really great friends. And I'm sharing this to say, when you are in a space in Hollywood where people know you from a show like Insecure, or they know you from a show like Ginny and Georgia, where Mike was a writer on that show on Netflix, they just see you as someone who's made it, as if it's like a past tense thing that happens and you stamp it. What they don't, somebody said Kenya or Candy? No, Kenya Barris, not Candy or Kenya from Real Housewives. Kenya Barris, the writer of Blackish, for Tracy Ellis Ross. That's what made me think about Kenya, because Tracy and him did so many shows together. But seeing everybody in that space, and I'm like, usually when someone would see someone like Kenya, they'd want to like pitch him a show or whatever. We're all just sitting there having dinner like regular people, right? And so I need you to understand. And Barack Obama said this recently. He said when he became president, he realized presidents are just regular people. Then he'd be talking to like heads of industries. They were regular people. Then he'd be talking about people who have the ability to press a button and end the world. Some of them are regular people, and some of them were actually stupid and not that bright. The higher you ascend, the more you realize how much our shared humanity doesn't go anywhere. Turning humans into gods is always fallible. And so I need you guys to know that if you get nothing else from this show, is that if you humanize the celebrities around you, that's not only when you want to make excuses for their behavior, it's also for when you want to pretend as if they don't deserve grace, right? Like you want to make sure that you recognize that if you like Oprah Winfrey, Oprah's still a person, right? If you like Amanda Seales, Amanda's still a person. If you, whoever you like or dislike, I think celebrity culture has put us in this place where we act like celebrities are demons or angels, and the gag is they're neither, right? The gag is they're neither. If y'all understood just how much money and how many followers John has on social media, okay? John makes more in a month than most people make in 2 or 3 months. And yet he's at the park listening to a random white man sing Negro spirituals and walk his dog, talking to us on the thing. I think that's why I enjoy having these times with you guys, because I want you all to like recognize that if someone who you think is extraordinary is a regular person and they still got where they were going, maybe that means you could do the same thing. I really felt the need to say that before I let you guys go today, because the retrograde was cathartic for some of us. Well, most of us. It was embarrassing for a lot of us who had bad karma that came home to roost. It was revealing. It was heartbreaking. It was illuminating. It also probably left you a little tired. And tired people tend to feel defeated. And as we enter this shadow period of leaving the retrograde, I don't want you to think that just because you might have had a hard 3 to 6 weeks during this season of whatever the fuck that was, I don't want you to mistake a bad moment or a bad retrograde for a bad life. And I want you to cleanse your palate by having audacity, right? Be audacious and make sure that whatever you dreamt of before the retrograde, you're willing to dream of it even bigger, just now with more discernment. I was watching another psychic friend of mine. She and I were talking, and she went live on something. I think it was on TikTok or something. And she said, while doing her reading, the person I am on the other side of this retrograde is not the person that I was before the retrograde. And when she said that, it struck me, because the person who had to share up publicly something that I would have never shared and barely talked to my friends about, let alone thousands of strangers. If you had told me a month ago that I would have shared one of my biggest heartaches, which was last year's blow up with losing the friendships and being betrayed by what's his face at the same time. If you had told me a month ago that I would have shared the entirety of that embarrassing, hurtful ass story, I wouldn't have believed you. If you had told me that I would have told Lulu to kiss my ass, basically, I wouldn't have believed you. If you had told me that I would have seen Jeff removing himself from all of our collaborative posts over the weekend and had to block him, I wouldn't have believed you, right? If you had told me that I even knew how to go live on YouTube a month ago, I wouldn't have believed you. So many things, for the better and then for the worse, in the last month have forever changed me in ways that are impactful, and ways that I think are ushering in a new chapter that I might have been too cautious or scared to usher in on my own. And so I was thrust. I wouldn't have believed you. And yet here I am, right? Here I am talking to you guys on live. Here I am thinking, oh my God, we're going to start doing Tarot Tuesdays. By the way, guys, Tarot Tuesdays, I said 100 people had to say we want Tarot Tuesdays for me to say it. And we hit our goal already. It's only been like a day or two. So we will be having Tarot Tuesdays. It's going to be happening the first Tuesday of every single month around 3 o'clock Pacific. No later than 3 o'clock Pacific. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I'm realizing is that sometimes the universe will piss you off and force you to remember who the fuck you are and remind you of how powerful you are. Because the gag is, somebody with 500,000 followers across different platforms wouldn't be stalking my page and stealing content from me unless he recognized that what I was doing was valuable. And I actually want to thank him, because him seeing my value enough to steal it is what made me realize my value enough to be consistent and talk to you guys more and engage with you more, right? So even something as painful as what happened to me 2 weeks ago pushed me into my power. So whatever's happened to you guys during this season, rather than falling to pieces, let it push you into your power. And for all of you who are writing, yes, Tarot Tuesdays, yes, guys, I'm a woman of my word, right? So I think the first Tarot Tuesday, September 2nd, Tuesday, September 2nd. So starting September 2nd, I already have it marked as work on my calendar for the next year. Every single Tuesday, first Tuesday of the month, I will come on here and gift you guys what I did during the retrograde. All right. Are there any questions? Let me make sure. Yes, September 2nd is the first one. Let me make sure there's any questions. Thank you for being here. Oh, that's so sweet. I don't think you realize how you are healing folks. I hope so, because honestly, knowing that this might be helping other people is the only way this makes it palatable. Because one of my biggest trepidations about anything around content creation is a world that's just about me feels boring. I could not be one of those content creators who spends 24 hours thinking about themselves and only themselves. If it cannot in some way serve the greater good, I don't want it, because it bores me. Like, I'm one person, right? It's so small to live in a world where you only care about you. And so I'm always telling people, when people say, Blue, you're so happy, you're so happy, you're so happy. You know what the secret to me being happy is that I've learned to heal me, and then I panned out and hold space for other people. One of my favorite sayings is, if you can't take it anymore, because, you know, a lot of you say, Blue, the retrograde whipped my ass, I can't take it anymore. If you can't take it anymore, then give. One more time for the folks in the back who are missing the double entendre. If you can't take it anymore, that's your sign to give. Volunteer, food bank, call a friend who's going through a rough season and listen to her problems instead of talking about yours. Figure out how to be of service. Every single time I think I'm about to be swallowed up into heartache and disappointment and grief and just all the things that come from life not giving you what you thought you wanted. I get on the phone with my clients and I see them fighting for their freedom. And I hear them smiling and laughing on the other end of the phone after a 60-minute session with me. And knowing that I did anything whatsoever to make their day better immediately solves it for me. Immediately solves it for me. Somebody said, I've had a hard last 14 months, but your tarot reading really got me into wanting to reclaim my whole self. Oh, that's beautiful. I'm getting to focus on my business now. Thanks so much. Yeah, guys, being here is healing all of us. This is a mutually beneficial exchange. It feels great for me to find a new audience because I want to have impact. Some people want to be famous. I want to have impact. The reason why 30,000 and reaching 30,000 followers on subscribers on YouTube today spoke to me is, wow, that's 30,000 people who get to hear this message. That's 30,000 people who get to see what community looks like in a way that's healthy and whole. That's 30,000 people who get to see me not judge myself when I fuck up and maybe think maybe they shouldn't judge themselves either, right? 30,000 is enough to fill several dozen stadiums. I know on social media, everybody's like, oh, 1 million followers, 3 million followers. It'd be easy for me to get caught up in that. Rather than be thinking in a lack mindset that I don't have a huge following, I'm thinking about the impact on those who have found me. So yeah, I hope that was helpful. I'm going to shut up now and go eat dinner. I love y'all so much. And I will make sure, somebody said those readings were powerful, poignant. Thank you. You guys, this makes me, I don't want to get emotional because this retrograde has made me emotional. Also, I'm PMSing. So what's going to happen, guys? I'm going to, if I don't have cramps, come back on Wednesday. If I physically can do it, I will come back on Wednesday, probably eating an edible for pain medication. I'll come back on Wednesday and do our Good, Bad, and Ugly Tarot crash course. If not, sorry, our Zodiac crash course. If not, it'll be next Wednesday. So if you see me this Wednesday, it means the meds helped. And if you don't see me this Wednesday, just know that I'll probably come back next Wednesday to do that. And of course, Mondays, I'm always back on Mondays, guys. I've already committed to being here to do lives on Mondays. So every Monday I'll be on live unless something happens like travel. And every first Tuesday of the month, I'll be making sure to do the tarot readings. All right. Until then, yes, final words. Thank you for saying this, guys. Like and subscribe. All right. Love y'all. Bye.